in the office that I just left that I should apologize to you or lose my dream and lose my WrestleMania match.
You gotta lose it. Apologize. Yeah, for what you did. You're a commentator. You don't do that.
Austin Theory, I am so...
It's funny now. Come on, let's do this.
Austin Theory,
He can't do it.
This ain't no joke. You talk to Mr. McMahon. He told you to apologize.
It's going to cost Pat his
Austin
job.
Theory, I'm sorry for beating your ass last week. Austin Theory, I'm sorry your parents raised a douchebag. Austin Theory, I'm sorry I made your filter face ass relevant. Austin Theory, I apologize that you're a punk bitch.
This is Gage Bright, ring announcer and lead commentator for Zowa Live Wrestling. I'm Bradley University alum, and you are listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with BB, Primo, and AJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following Sit Down Marks podcast is set for one fall. Introducing first, your heel host that is always helping to spread the good word of wrestling, Dirty Bird. Next up, the co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme, editor and producer, Primo. And finally, your co-host, straight out of your mama's kitchen, driver of the grip wagon, straight off a cliff, assistant editor and producer, AJ.
What is up, everybody? Welcome once again to the biggest kept secret in wrestling podcast. You know who it is. I'm your heel host, the Dirty Bird. Thank you, TW Ward, for that awesome intro there. We really appreciate that each and every week. We got a guest with us today, boys. Back, the honorary fourth mark himself. He's back, the undead one. Here he is, Michael.
What is going on, guys?
Sir.
I love the booze. Thank you. It just makes me know that I'm making an impact on the Marks audience.
Because only you know what they need, right?
Exactly. They don't know what they need. I know what they need. They need more bitterness and negativity.
That's my favorite Michael line. I know what you need in wrestling. You listen to me.
Real quick, guys, congratulations on the anniversary. I
hey,
didn't get a chance to watch it live, but I caught up on it on the YouTubes, and great show. Well done. Lots of cool stuff has been happening last year.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Thanks.
Welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
You were a part of many of those shows.
Yep, definitely.
I like to think I'm part of the derailing of a lot of those shows that Dirty flips out over during.
Since 2001, going off the rails.
Derailing things since 2001, baby.
That's right, man. Welcome back, Michael. First of all, I want to shout out to Craig Smith at One Stop Wrestling for giving us the rub here lately in his one of the latest of the One Stop Wrestling magazine, which is available on Etsy. Look them up on Twitter, One Stop Wrestling. They're a really good account if you're wanting to pick up on what's going on in the world of wrestling. Check us out in the podcast section. We got our logos there on One Stop Podcast. We are actually recommended as one of the podcasts there. So thank you so much to Craig Smith there at One Stop Wrestling for taking care of us. We really do appreciate it. I want to take this time to thank our sponsors, Coastland Apparel. Go to coastlandapparel.com. Use promo code BIRDTV for 15% off of your order. And also, if you need a custom die cast for your league, yourself, or anybody you know that might be into racing, then look no further than Jet Designs on Facebook. That's right. Check him out. JET Designs on Facebook. And he is the man that can put all your diecast dreams into reality. I've seen this man pull out some really cool ideas on some cars. So check him out, man, if you got some there. I want to thank everybody right now listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all those other podcast platforms out there, and also SportzWire Radio on Fridays. We are live at 6:15 right before the Thomas Bryce Show and throughout the week. If you like us, give us a favor and go check us out and give us a 5-star review on whatever platform you listen from. All right, now that's out of the way. Today's Pop of the Pod, I went back from somebody that really likes this guy. So, Michael, the Pop of the Pod today is for you, my friend.
Feed me more. Feed me more. Feed me more.
How would you like that one, man? Huh? How about a Ryback?
Ryback Goldberg mix, man. You go. The big guy, Mr. Hurdy himself, you know.
Just hitting you in all the feels, and AJ's got poo-poo face on now. Just not a Ryback fan.
I'm telling you, his last run in the WWE, when he was just going there, straight business, wreck, leave, that was like the precursor for the Romans, the Roman heel turn.
Yeah.
I hated Ryback so much.
Always nice to go and jump back, you know, to how you felt when these certain songs came on, right? These entrances and stuff, you know.
You saw how I felt, poop face. That's
right? Yeah. So yeah. All right, AJ, get that poop face off, man. Let's get us rolling with this day in wrestling history and birthdays, brother.
I don't know what that little was. This day in wrestling history and birthdays. Today is the 23rd of March. For all you marks out there, so insert Dirty Bird joke here. Didn't think of one. In 1990 or in 1892, Dirty Bird was going to churn some butter and Bubba Big Stacks. I don't care.
Me and Levi Everett.
First and foremost, this day in 1997, WrestleMania 13 took place at the Rosemont in Chicago with one of the greatest WrestleMania matches, nay, wrestling matches, probably in history, when there was the famous double turn between Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Bret Hart won the match when Stone Cold refused to pass out. You don't refuse to pass out. You just pass out.
You just stay awake if you do that.
Refused to tap.
Not really much changes if you refuse to pass out.
I'm refusing to pass out.
Don't pass
right
out.
now.
You stay awake.
No, not today. Pass out. Not today.
That's what like waking life is every day. I'll see you next time passing out. Anyways, Bret Hart won the match. It was a double turn. There was the famous shot of just bloody Stone Cold, like just yelling in agony, and it was fantastic. One of the best matches ever.
You know, no one wears the crimson mask like Stone Cold does.
One of the greatest bleeders, for sure.
Yes. It's like him and Flair. Are like
Flair because of the blonde hair and just like...
Yes.
Yeah.
HBK, too.
Yeah, but... No, I got no but. Yeah, HBK is fucking awesome. This day in... What year was it? Come on, notes. Oh, 2001. There we go. WWF at the time announces that they have purchased WCW, thus ending all kinds of wars, and everyone was so excited about, new era in wrestling. Turned out it was going to suck balls, but it was really cool for a little bit, because obviously you had Vince on WCW Monday Night Nitro, and do you guys remember the simulcast when it was Nitro? Yeah. That was so cool. So that happened today. Also, what else happened today?
That was actually mentioned recently.
Was it really?
By Tony Khan whenever he bought Ring of Honor.
Why? Why would they compare the two? That doesn't make any sense.
No. He made like a statement. He's like, "No, I really bought it. I'm here."
Yeah. Also, this day in 1984, Ric Flair defeated Harley Race to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. That was in Singapore. Bet you didn't know they had shows over there. They did in Singapore. Other than
They
that,
have lots of Singapore canes.
Yes, they just call them canes.
Call them canes over there.
Yeah, it's canes. That's not a call.
Well played, AJ. Well.
Wait, hold on, I'm dying. Excuse me. Okay, birthdays today. We've got a few. We have Hiroshi Tenzan, born this day in 1971. We have, who is one of the most beautiful women, in my opinion, in wrestling history, Lana, in 1985.
Great.
We have Tyson...
CJ Perry?
Yes, CJ Perry. We have Tyson Tomko, born in 1976, and a special mention tomorrow is Mr. Mean Mark Calloway himself, The Undertaker, born in 1965. And that is this day in wrestling history and birthdays. Yes, Jurassic Park.
I actually have one more birthday to celebrate today. We wouldn't be doing them right if we didn't mention it, but yesterday, on the 22nd of March, was none other than Jet Design's birthday, one of our sponsors, so happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday,
obviously,
you silly fuck.
Thanks for including your name on the show. So
he does really good work.
All right,
really
Primo, what we got in headlines, man?
Well, let me just start off by saying, gum lovers, rejoice, because we won. Once again, another award we can put up on the old refrigerator, the Frigitator, if you will. The Fruit Stripe Gums Most Flavorful Pod of the Week. That was us. We had the most flavor. And as me and AJ discussed, that flavor lasted all of about 24 seconds.
24 seconds, exactly.
Yeah.
Not 23, not 25,
right.
24.
If it was more, that's extra gum, and we didn't win that one.
Yeah,
so.
no, we can't shoot that high.
So
that's the
first thing.
Congratulations, guys. That's a prestigious award.
Well, okay. Don't celebrate too fast because we got fourth place in the Mick Blair Sit Down Marks Imitators Contest. So we got fourth place in a contest where we imitate ourselves.
It's very Charlie Chaplin-esque.
All right, let's get to the headline, shall we? So, via Fightful, WWE and NBC Group, that's M, as in Michael, BC Group, have a new broadcast deal in the Middle East and North Africa that includes WWE now being on the video on demand service Shahid, which is a streaming service in Saudi Arabia. So that's pretty neat. This one, I don't know if you know about this yet. It's about to blow your mind. And if AJ doesn't know, he's gonna pop for this. At Zeke Zshe's Outlandish Paradise 2, Masha Slamovich,
I'm interested,
will wrestle a bear.
A bear. Zeke wrestled the bear last year.
That's so awesome.
What kind of bear is it?
It doesn't matter. This is the greatest. I hope it's like a koala bear. I don't care. I want to see this. I love Masha Slamovich so much, and we've been saying that she needs to wrestle a bear for like months now.
She is.
Someone is listening to our show. That is.
We say that frequently.
That's the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
Fans of esports gaming, anybody that knows what FaZe Clan is, or Foz, whatever you want to say, Stephanie McMahon has joined their board of directors. So WWE getting into some esports there. You in the glasses.
What?
It's a podcast, AJ. You just talk. You don't hold your hand up.
It's okay. You can hold your hand up.
What's FaZe?
It's a esports team.
Okay, moving on.
Esport is a sport. Is a sport of E.
What's
all right?
Stephanie?
So, and explain this
man you speak of.
Jugs. Via WrestlingNews.co, WWE will air a 2-hour WrestleMania kickoff show on the USA Network. So they said they might still be on Peacock too, but it'll also be on USA Network as well.
So they want us to watch 3 hours of NXT and then 2 hours pre-show, 3-hour Saturday night, probably 4-hour Sunday night.
Wait, are they going to have a pre-show for the night 2 as well?
Oh Lord, probably.
So
Like, WrestleMania is the only time I watch pre-shows, honestly.
Wait, didn't they split WrestleMania into 2 nights specifically so that people wouldn't have to sit through 8 hours of wrestling?
Yes.
So they're like, oh wait, we got more time slots?
Wait,
we're okay with it if we just break it up into 2 days, I guess.
Wait a minute.
You know?
They can't even fill the card now, and they're worrying about pre-show?
Hell yeah. Get on there, Finn Balor.
What are the odds the pre-show matches are more interesting than the actual main card matches?
0. And also the trashiest match on the pre-show.
Battle Royal? Andre the Giant
the Giant Battle Royal?
Well, when I went to Mania, the pre-show was Mysterio versus Ryback.
Well, I mean, we get Mysterio.
No, I'm sorry, Kalisto. Kalisto versus Ryback.
Ew, that's even worse.
Mysterio's.
That's
Kalisto.
Hobo Mysterio.
Yeah.
Discount Mysterio.
Yes.
Mysterion.
Samurai Del Sol?
Roy Mysterio.
That's when Ryback came to the ring with the pre-show stopper belt on.
Oh, God, I hated him.
All right.
Roy Mysterio, that's his name.
WWE has partnered with NextBite to launch a virtual, speaking of WrestleMania, they're going to launch a virtual restaurant in Dallas between now and April 11th. It will be available. It's kind of funny. The WWE-themed delivery-only restaurant is named WWE Smackadias. WWE Smackadias offers a unique menu of crave-crushing quesadillas that will only be available until April 11th.
They should have called it Snackdown.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
They failed.
This is not rocket science, Stephanie McMoon.
They wanted to go with Smackadilla.
Knockdown.
Oh, jeez.
All of that is gold. Why did they do that? It's so stupid.
So you can order a Smackadilla.
Oh, my God.
Former WWE star Maven, first ever Tough Enough winner, is now hosting Independent Superstars of Professional Wrestling's new weekly YouTube show called ISPW's Sunday Night Slam. First episode aired this past Sunday.
Wait,
I listened to it. It's okay. It's called ISPW Sunday Night Slam.
Which one was Maven? Was he in?
Maven is the one that drop kicks the Undertaker out of the Royal Rumble.
Ah,
He
yes.
had the all-white attire.
And then got his butt whooped.
You know we can cuss on here, right?
And finally,
his tushy was a spanking.
his tuchus got a beating. And finally, it has been confirmed by multiple sources that Cody Rhodes has indeed signed with WWE, and the current plan is for him to debut at WrestleMania weekend. We'll see how this goes.
Why would you not build that damn match?
I have a feeling I was going to talk about this a little bit. So, what I think may happen, my take on it currently, is since Rollins keeps trying and he just had his last chance, right? So at WrestleMania, when we get there, he's a couple years ago, I think somebody did this, maybe Cena. They went out to WrestleMania and it was like an open challenge thing just to get on WrestleMania. Like he'll probably hold the show hostage or something along those lines.
Sit in the crowd, like
Cena sat in the crowd
with Undertaker,
right?
Yeah,
and then be like, I don't have an opponent. I need an opponent, and then boom. There's only one. There's more than one family in wrestling or whatever.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, WWE is known for their innovation and not repeating storylines. So I'm pretty sure that, yeah, that was stupid. Yeah, they're probably going to do that. Like, if they've done it before and it worked. Because it did work with the Cena match. I love that.
I feel like if they would have introduced Cody, like, last week, then...
But there's not going to be... It's not going to sell any... It's not going to like affect the buy rate at all.
I mean, come on. Everybody in God's country knows he's coming. What do you mean sell? You know we're getting the match.
Yeah, but who cares?
We want face-to-face. You want a contract signing before we... Is that what you guys want?
I want him to be on Miz TV.
Oh, shut up. Oh, fuck off.
The KO show.
Right.
And the Cutting Edge. And let's bring Talk is Jericho back as well. All of those.
And the KO show.
Yes.
Any more headlines, Primo?
That does it for headlines. Back to you, Dirty.
All right. Well, actually, back to AJ for the movie of the week.
Oh, real quick. I got that.
Yes?
Sorry. I just wanted to ask you. Can I say a formal get fucked to Jelly Janela leaving AEW? Because I haven't had a chance to yet.
Sure. Floor is yours.
I mean, you
Get
couldn't
fucked,
wait
Jelly
5
Janela.
seconds to talk about AEW, but sure. It's all
No!
that bad, Michael.
Headline!
I mean, you already cut a soundbite off to do it, so tell us your thoughts on Joey Janela, please. Enlighten us.
Indie goofball that had no place being on the AEW roster other than just padding. Bye. Get the fuck out. Bye-bye.
But he was such a good enhancement talent.
No, he hurt people. He dehanced them. That's what happens.
What happened with it? Why is he not on the roster anymore? Did he get canceled for some reason, or
They did the thing with Marco Stunt where they're just like, yeah, we're not going to talk to him and renew his contract. And he came out, he's like, I'll show you. I wouldn't sign again anyway if you offered me one.
Yeah, he threw a big fit about it, and
well,
whereas Marco Stunt was just like, yeah, okay, I'll go do indies and stuff.
I don't miss Marco. Do you guys?
No, I never liked
Marco.
Marco.
I mean, that was all he did.
It was just now that I realized he was gone. No offense to him.
He made no impact.
All right, take 2. AJ's movie of the week.
Well, actually, since we're talking about AEW sightings, we're
right. You
Derailing
guys
since
do your
2001.
thing, man. I'll just sit here and you guys let me know when y'all are ready.
we're here. Last
I mean, I'm
one.
just here to put the
Ethan
show
Page did re-sign with the AEW this week. All right, AJ, let's go.
AJ's movie of the week.
Well, in an effort to save time, I didn't watch a movie this week. I watched a commercial for Chunkamania, Campbell's Chunky Bean and Chili Soup. So the premise of this commercial is that Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff are fighting over what implement to use when they eat said chunky...
It's meaty. It's beefy.
It's meaty. Okay, so Roddy Piper wants to use a fork. He's like, fork! And Mr. Wonderful's like, spoon! And so they're fighting over it. But then they cut to like an insert of someone eating it with a spoon. It's like you're ruining the whole entire premise of the match. You fucking idiots. But Jesse Ventura says it's great. So if you can find Chunkamania beefy, chewy fucking soup from 1987, please try it and let us know how it was.
Welcome to Chunkamania! Roddy Piper eats chunky chili beef soup with a fork! Fork! Paul, Mr. Wonderful Orndorff uses a spoon! Spoon! Let's find out who rules! New chunky chili beef with big chunks of beef. The soup that eats like a meal. Fork or spoon, it's awesome!
I would like to know if it is actually awesome or not.
That commercial is
Find me a
actually
can.
awesome.
I know, the
Tell
commercial
you.
was fantastic. I watched it like 5 times.
Nice.
Also, who eats fucking soup with a fork, you
I was
fucking
gonna say,
savage?
by the way, my vote is for spoon.
Yes, spoon!
Spoon!
like the rest of the civilized world.
I'm sorry, Roddy Piper, but you are incorrect. Like, fuck off.
All right, it's time to talk about what we're going to talk about. We got you covered in the week of wrestling. We're going to talk about Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns back in Mania 31. That's going to be the Dropkick discussion this week. Michael's here to talk the big Undead monthly rankings, and we're also going to play Squared Circle questions, and then also we continue our big month of March interviews. This time we get to talk to Zowa Live owner Zeke Zshe, who joins us to tell a few stories about being a promoter and what it's like to own a wrestling company and to be a stand-up comedian. So really, really interesting interview coming up here. So looking forward to this episode here. Primo, get us rolling, man.
This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins.
This is Big B.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, and you're listening
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
All right. The Indie Roundup this week, we're going to be talking about actually a show I'm headed to this weekend in Paris, Illinois, and checking out a promotion I've never been to. So for the first time, I'm going to see New Wave Pro. They got a show out in Paris, Illinois. Like I said, they usually run over in Terre Haute, Indiana. They're coming across the border. Don't Die Miles is defending the title against Anakin Murphy. We got Kylie Reyes on that card, and a lot of guys, Midwest wrestlers I haven't seen before. So that's what I'm kind of interested in and excited to see some new talent there, and some guys too that I've seen before, like Victor Analog, that I'm a fan too, is going to be there. So looking forward to that show this weekend. So, all right, AJ, get us kicked off with AEW this weekend, sir.
Well, this was one of the greatest episodes of AEW Dynamite in the history of everything. I say that a lot, but this time I mean it. So I'm going to quickly go through it. I'm going to skip over some amazing things just because there's not enough time to talk about everything. Show kicks off with Hangman Adam Page and Hangman Adam Page and Jurassic Express taking on Adam Cole and Red Dragon. Awesome match, lots of fun. The main storyline of this is that Hangman gets pinned. So it just, all this match did was continue feuds. Eric, Dirty Bird, I thought of you when there was a double doomsday device, which was fucking awesome. I was like, that's the best thing ever.
Yeah, I love that spot.
Little Road Warriors throwback for you. So Adam Cole and Red Dragon get the win, which sets up nice little number one contenders matches for each title, which is nice. Up next, we have Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson, who are just the greatest thing in tag team wrestling, like ever. I can't remember who it was, but someone compared them to Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson, which I can kind of see. And I love everything about this faction, if you want to call it that. They took on Chuck Taylor and Wheeler Yuta. Of course, they beat the ever-living fuck out of them. But it was never like your typical squash match. They just outworked them in every single way. And afterwards, Yuta got in the ring, like he's kind of turning his back on best friends a little bit, and Regal slaps him in the face.
Hard too.
Yeah.
Hard spot.
I mean, that's what Regal does. He doesn't fuck about. He's got that European background to him.
Wheeler got in the ring and reached his hand out.
Yeah.
He wanted to. He's like, man, you guys humbled me so much. I
want to learn from you. I
want to learn from you. He's like, we didn't choose you, bitch. Get out of the ring.
But he did the same thing to Danielson and Moxley. Yes. It's a show of respect for Regal. Like, just slapped him right in the fucking
It's like, if you can take it and no sell it, then you're good.
Yep. So I think Wheeler Yuta is going to be the first one to join their little faction, which fucking sweet. So up next we have, oh my God, I love this so much, the Jericho Appreciation Society.
I'm just not on that name yet, man.
Oh my God,
that name I'm just not on board with yet.
JAF.
Yeah. I cannot even
that was my
verbalize how much I love this. Michael agrees with me. Look at his face. First of all, he comes out with 2.0 Daniel Garcia and Jake Hager, who just
look like a piece of me.
And Jericho has reinvented himself yet again. He basically makes fun of pro wrestlers and says that he's a sports entertainer. That is the best possible way to get heat with the AEW crowd.
I thought it was awesome.
No doubt. What a great angle.
So awesome. And then he said he's renaming everyone. Well, first he goes into his real life stories about, like, these are true. Like when he donated like thousands of dollars when Daniel Garcia, like shattered his leg in the car accident. That was true. Like that, Chris Jericho actually did that when Daniel Garcia was like just no one. And then he helped out 2.0 and blah, blah, blah. But
he's like, stupid name, by the way.
Yeah, that's a bad decision on creative. So then he changes everyone's names, and he's like, we're not pro wrestlers anymore. Now we're Daddy Magic Matt and Cool Head H, which are like the dumbest names I've ever heard in my entire life.
And they're just like, yeah.
I know. And then Daniel Garcia is the mask of the victim. It's so fucking stupid. I loved it so much. And then Jake Hager, he renames him the Hand of the King. So really, it is just straight mocking WWE.
They're sports entertainers.
Sports entertainers. I loved it so much. Michael, I know that you hated it. Like when I was watching, I'm like, oh, my brother's going to fucking hate this.
I mean, I think that's the point. It's working then, right?
Yes. No, I loved it.
Here's why you're wrong. You guys
I'm probably
have
going to
all-
agree with Michael here. Probably.
All
Really?
three of you have
Probably a good
discussed on end about how AEW is doing too much WWE shit. And here he comes in, sports entertainer, nothing but a mockery of the WWE, and you fucking eat it up like candy. Just gobbling that shit up.
Hell
Don't
yeah.
you?
I
Don't
think
you, you fucking
the
mark?
reason I like it is because they're parodying WWE.
Yeah, yes.
No.
It's a little on the nose, but I thought it was
like
fucking hilarious.
It's like they're poking the bear. It's like they, like it wouldn't surprise me at all if in the next couple months there walks out a Vince McMahon character, there walks out a Shane McMahon character, like somebody like they're making fun of them. Somebody comes out doing the Vince walk. Like, this is where we're headed, kind of. You know what I mean?
I think that I disagree because it's Jericho, and Jericho's a genius, and I think that he will make this into just gold before it gets old and tiresome, and then he'll switch it up again. I loved it. I
like it. I just
two things. I number one, I liked this segment, but also I do like the angle for the reasons I just said. Because for me, it's like a parody of WWE, and it's like they're openly making fun of it.
Yes.
And but secondly, I'd also agree with Dirty. I just can't. Jericho Appreciation Society is kind of super generic and boring.
I think that's kind of the point too.
But I think so too. Yeah, probably.
Do you remember way back when, last time I was on, I asked you a very specific question of what are they doing different than WWE? And you guys are like, oh, they're doing all this stuff. And then now, here it is. The exact embodiment of WWE.
But see, no, I think you're wrong because WWE is not making fun of WWE. That's what AEW is doing. AEW is mocking sports entertainment. That's what they're doing. WWE isn't mocking sports entertainment. They're embracing. This whole thing is a mockery. That's why I love it so much.
They're drawing on WWE's whole shtick to do their own shtick of WWE. Just because you parody something doesn't mean it's genius. It's sometimes very bad, especially when you're trying to differentiate yourself in a wrestling environment. Like, if you want to parody WWE, keep doing the tope suicidas and the super kicks nonstop. That's all they fucking do. If you want to do better than them, have actual wrestling on there. That will blow them out of the water.
See, they do though. Like you're looking at it as a very insulated. Here's one little aspect that represents all of AEW. It's like, no, it's a gimmick, and I think it's going to be hilarious. But I see your point. I do see your point.
Well, and not to interrupt, sorry, but just kind of going back to what Dirty has said before, they've already been laying the groundwork for more and more WWE crap. Cody hitting the throne with the hammer.
Oh, I see. What's weird is I hated that.
See, what's the difference? What's the difference?
That was something that was so look what we're doing, man. But this is we're just mocking these guys.
Yeah, let's move on, AJ.
Sledgehammer.
Let's move on, AJ.
Yes, moving on. We'll quickly go through Wardlow versus Scorpio Sky for the TNT Championship. Obviously, Wardlow is a massively over babyface now. It's fucking awesome. I love Dan Lambert. Scorpio Sky ekes out the win because of MJF interference. Up next, this show just keeps going. We have the Hardys, which, again, I popped huge when that music hit, and I'm assuming you did too.
Well, of course. All our dicks got hard.
All the dicks just... That's giving us a lot of credit,
hardness when that song comes on.
That's credit for us, by the way. Forearm dicks. Anyways...
Real quick, thank you, by the way, last week for pointing out that Jeff was dancing while Matt was getting the shit beat out of him. I could not stop laughing at how stupid that was.
I actually
totally
heard
agree.
on Matt's stream that he actually told Jeff to do that.
Yeah, Matt told him to do it.
Yeah.
Which is just so dumb. I love it. It's so stupid.
I don't believe that one bit. I don't believe that.
God.
I think they was just trying to work it over, make the story better.
Yeah,
that's funny though.
The match, by the way, wasn't great. Jeff botched a move that he's been doing his entire career.
Landed right the fuck on him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, sure did.
So up next, this is what I wanted to get to. The most, it's Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. Holy God, This is a paper vent main event.
Paper vent main event.
You're terrible at words.
I use these for a living. Paper vent.
I love this Thunder Rosa entrance, the mariachi band,
The
all women mariachi band.
Yeah, it was.
No, that was like, I love mariachi bands. Like, that gets me going, dude. Like, I love that shit. And then, like, when I seen this, I was like, oh hell yeah. Well, we all knew she's winning the title anyway. But
yeah,
this was good, man. I loved it.
It was great. Britt Baker is a goddamn trooper. Some of the bumps that she took were just gross. Like when she was on top of that, or when she hit that, like, I don't even know it wasn't a stack of chairs because there were like bits and points like poking out all over the place. I don't know. It was fantastic.
I did like. I also really like this, and I popped big for Thunder Rosa, fellow Texan. Also, like we'd been talking about this for weeks, saying she was going to win San Antonio, but and she had a Texas flag, by the way. But most importantly, that chair spot you just talked about. It was like Britt landed just flat back to table because the chairs didn't move at first, and the whole thing just like.
It was.
She had like three. She had all the flags, didn't she? She had Texas, American, and the Mexican.
Yeah.
Well, she's got like a back-to-back. Yeah.
You know, the three most important countries around the area. And she's not Canadian, so she didn't have that one.
Did you just say three most important countries?
The Republica de Tejas. Michael lives there.
Yeah, if it was that important, you would live there, Primo.
I did. I'm from there.
But you
don't live there now, so it must not be that important.
The career took me elsewhere. I'm still a Texan.
Well, then it ain't that important.
We'll renew your card when you come back, buddy.
Thank you.
Maybe they'll let you in. Maybe.
Wait, renew your card like a punch card?
He must be going back. He just bought a pair of boots not long ago, so he must be planning on going back. We don't need to see them damn things. Don't put him out here.
To get back in, I need to eat another Whataburger like at least once. Go to Buc-ee's.
Whataburger, so good.
I'm so angry that I haven't had Whataburger in.
All right, AJ, back on track.
No onions.
So that was AEW Dynamite. That match, Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. Go back and watch it, rewatch it. It's fantastic. Thunder Rosa gets the giant babyface win. Great reaction. It was awesome. Up next, we have Rampage, which was a fun little wrestling show. Not a lot of storyline. Yeah. We have the Butcher versus Darby Allin, which was, fine. It ended with a count out, which you don't see often. Then there was the usual smodge coming in, whatever.
Yeah.
Layla Hirsch versus Red Velvet, which I really like this, mainly because my girl Chris Statlander, who I love so much, came out and kind of made a save a little bit, and she's in the middle of like some character reinvention.
Yeah, that's what I think so too. Yeah,
which I'm excited to see where that's going because the whole I'm an alien. I think that it ran its course. So I'm excited to see her new direction. Red Velvet got the storyline win, and then up next we have my favorite Bear Country. What?
Are you okay?
I'm sick. Bear Country. Yeah. Bear Country and Fuego del Sol taking on House of Black. House of Black looked fantastic. Absolutely destroyed them for a fun main event thruple squash match. It was great. That was Rampage. I love Rampage. It's so quick and so much
wrestling. It is so quick. The only thing I want to talk about was, I want to say this. On the independent scene, Shane Strickland, Swerve Scott, whatever you want to call him, Isaiah Swerve Scott. He, I loved him on the indies, man. He was great, awesome. But since he was on WWE or AEW, man, I am just not feeling him. Like, I don't know if it's gimmick or whatever. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I was just like, he was like, when he was on the indies, like, one of the best indie matches I ever seen live was him and Matt Riddle. And it was amazing. And I don't know, man. I just feel like he's. So what do you guys think about him on?
You don't like that they're going to pair him? Well, they're most likely going to pair him with Keith Lee for a little bit, which I didn't even mention that match.
No, that I'm fine with that. That's awesome. I'm just saying, I just don't feel like it's kind of lost a little bit of luster since like I don't know.
Oh, by the way, really quick. Matt Caster looked really good against Keith Lee in his squash match. That was cool.
Anthony Ogogo's coming back too.
Yes, my boy. Let's get some bread baskets in there.
Bread baskets coming on the way.
Swerve, I'm okay. Because I never saw him on the Indies, so and I didn't care one way or another in WWE. Yeah. So now I'm just like, yeah, whatever they got for him, I'll stick around and see what's up.
Yeah. Oh, anyway,
I'm a fan. It's been 2 weeks. Give him time.
2 weeks. 2 weeks in AEW.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
We've seen him plenty in NXT.
But I know, but we're talking about his current
state. Sure. But I'm saying
time.
I'm saying like up to this point, like
I think
putting him with Keith Lee will help a lot.
His overall product, WWE and NXT, he had some killer matches. Lucha Underground is kill shot, killer matches. Independent scene, killer matches. So I mean, dude can wrestle and work.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, it's never against their wrestling. It's
charisma
it's
for days. So it's like
it
just depends.
I don't agree.
I just think his charisma comes off differently. He comes off as arrogant,
as uncharismatic.
Yeah, so
pulling that old reverse charisma on you.
It's like exactly. Reverse.
I mean, he's not going to blow you away on the mic. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, no, he's going to try to rap for you, and if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. You know.
By the way, really quick, not to change the subject, but to end my AEW segment, I want to go back to JR's line in the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker match where he goes, because they go under and get thumbtacks, and JR just goes, "Why are there always thumbtacks under there?" Which I laughed so hard when he said that because it's so dumb. That's AEW.
All right, Primo, get us that WWE, brother.
Double, smacking it down.
Oh, yeah, don't you know?
That's not even W in Spanish. It's double.
I know.
Every week you say it.
This is why he has to present his card to come back in.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, so to start off the show, we have the Bloodline starting off the show, cutting a promo, not a promotion, Primo, thinking that Brock isn't going to show up. However, Paul Heyman gets word that he actually will be there soon. The Bloodline attempts to get out of Dodge, but once they get into the SUV, which isn't a Dodge, Lesnar decapitates all of them with a forklift. He decapitates them. He kills them because he puts a forklift through windows with them in the SUV. So they should be dead. Then he flips the SUV so the Bloodline, who are somehow still alive, run and steal a truck and get away. But as they get away, Brock somehow snatches the extended cab door right off the truck. Then Brock carries the door to the ring and does nothing else except for says that he'll see Roman in 2 weeks at WrestleMania.
Your retelling of that was priceless.
What?
Your retelling of that was so much more entertaining than the actual segment.
I actually sent AJ a text message that said, "So Brock Lesnar has a really fake country accent now?"
Yes.
Oh,
boy.
Yes. I'm coming for blood.
It's that southern Minnesota accent.
We gonna get you, boy.
I'm gonna get you good, Roman.
And I was like, man, why are they letting Brock have a car door? Don't they know the last time he had one, he hit a fan with it?
Yeah, it didn't turn out so well.
I know, right? Remember that?
Giving him a forklift.
Yeah, right. And he killed. You just didn't tell me that he magically missed all of their heads.
Up next on AEW, the forklift of Jericho.
Nice try.
Appreciation Society.
Johnny Knoxville, which I think this is an interesting take on it because it's a gimmick match for a celebrity match. Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn will be an anything goes match at WrestleMania.
They gimmicked up their gimmick match.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Double gimmicks. Gimmick inception.
Johnny Knoxville is going to go like full jackass for WrestleMania.
Yeah. I hope Sami Zayn takes a taser to the taint. That'd be great.
Isn't Johnny Knoxville like 1 million years old now?
Yeah, he's old.
At least 1.5 million.
Yeah, he's probably like my age, like late 40s.
Yeah, Dirty would be a good gauge.
He's just way gray, and I don't have any hair, so like
he's like half dust.
Yeah, yeah. SmackDown was in my hometown, by the way, Charlotte, North Carolina, baby.
Johnny Knoxville was born on March 11th, 1971.
No, he's got a couple years on me. Then he's over 50.
He's 51. All right. Last thing on SmackDown, Pat McAfee's told that he has to apologize, as you heard in the intro. He's told he has to apologize. His job's on the line. He goes into the ring. he goes.
I don't have dogs.
He goes into the ring, and that just threw me off. So sorry. Pat McAfee is told that he has to apologize to Austin Theory, so he goes into the ring and starts to cut his promo about boyhood dream, blah blah blah. The usual fan-made wrestler gets to wrestle at WrestleMania, dream come true. Austin Theory interrupts him. He apologizes for whipping his ass, then calls Theory a punk bitch. Then Austin gets a cheap shove and retreats quickly. And that is SmackDown.
I like how you didn't go over any of the matches that happened.
They don't matter.
I want to talk about the only thing that I really loved about SmackDown was the promo that Charlotte did was really awesome.
Yeah, it was
in her hometown, putting herself over, blah blah blah. But they had a really cool spot at the end when Charlotte put Ronda through a table, but Ronda can't sell worth nothing, so she just kind of laid there with her eyes open, camera right on her face, and her eyes are open.
She looked like a cartoon character to me.
I vowed 2 weeks ago not to put Charlotte and Ronda in my notes.
Fair. There is one thing about SmackDown. They had a Shinsuke Rick Boogs match against the Blobbity Bloblos or whatever the hell they are.
You want to talk about that more than
Angel
Charlotte
and
Ronda?
Humberto?
Ronda
got busted open in her mouth. She had blood coming out of it, but probably because she doesn't know how to work. But whatever.
Well, I didn't want to talk about this either. To be fair, Dirty.
Yeah, true.
But I have to tell you, I again sent AJ a message that said, because of this match, I'm like, all right, I'm sold on Rick Boogs. I love this guy. I absolutely love this guy. And the moment that sold me, he doesn't do regular punches. You know what he does instead? Double axe handle punches.
Very old school level.
I marked out
Freddie Mercury.
I love every second of it. Plus the fact that he's a guitar player using double axe handles.
In his
I'm just happy he's finally on the main roster.
Yeah, me too. And he's not just doing music for Shinsuke.
Second skin singlet.
Hell yeah. It's very Ultimate Warrior-ish.
He's awesome. I love him.
Overall, I do like him. He is entertaining. I just don't like him anymore with Shinsuke. I'm over that.
Yeah, me too.
Fair.
Although I'm really coming around on Austin Theory, which I've hated him for a long time.
I mean, he's going to be a good up. It's like in a couple years, he's going to be it.
I can see it now. I'm starting to get on board a little bit.
Yep.
Moving on to Monday Night Raw. Anything else for SmackDown, gentlemen?
That's all I got.
Why don't you want to talk about Ronda and Charlotte, Primo?
It bores me to death.
and the rest of the audience.
Do something. Yeah, it's that meme poking him with a stick. Do something. Yeah, that's me.
Something.
The coolest thing they did was last week. I did talk about him last week, actually, with the parking lot brawl. That was interesting. Okay. Because it's just going to be like a back and forth, one at a time. Charlotte gets over, finally Ronda gets over, whatever. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Now it's my legacy's bigger than yours is what they're doing now. So,
right.
Which I don't understand how Charlotte's legacy is bigger.
Absolutely.
I mean, how is that an argument?
Their legacies are bigger in two different genres, I guess.
But we're only counting the one.
Yeah, we're in this genre. It's there's no
Charlotte,
comparison.
It's not even something to even talk about.
So, moving on to Monday Night Raw, Kevin Owens opens the so this was, I laughed so hard when I saw this. Okay. So, Kevin Owens opened the show with the biggest troll of all time, coming out to Stone Cold's music. The glass hits, the crowd goes wild, he completely fools the crowd. The whole segment, to me, was pretty hilarious, how he's just like, he goes back and forth, like, he kind of forgets into what, it seems like he forgets what he's doing, because he talks to Austin, then he talks as Austin, then he talks as Kevin, then he talks as Austin again. So it's like, but it was funny. All in all, it was funny. And then at one point, he even planted another Stone Cold entrance to make the crowd think that he was about to get jumped by Stone Cold, and they got him.
That's the one that I loved because it was just Kevin Owens just being like, idiots.
It's like, you morons.
I like the second one a lot. I thought that was pretty funny.
I was like, that is freaking genius. Good.
The only thing I really liked about that segment was the second Stone Cold entrance.
Right.
I thought that was really, really good. But
the fact that he was laughing after, he was like...
wrestlers imitating other wrestlers, and
Sometimes it's
This
amazing.
one
Sometimes
obviously reminded me of when The Miz did The Rock.
Oh yeah, when he came out with the bald cap on.
That's what I mean. Yeah, Kevin came out with a bald cap on.
But Kevin Owens is so much. Kevin Owens is Kevin Owens. The Miz. We'll get to the Miz when you talk
He's
about
an
the Miz.
actual actor, a thespian.
I'm so over the Miz.
Moving on, AJ Styles returned to Raw to address Edge before their WrestleMania matchup. He calls Edge out, but ends up calling him a coward because Edge would not show up. Then out comes Seth Rollins, who at this point in the show has been trying to force himself into another WrestleMania spot all night. As the crowd chants, I thought this was good. As the crowd chants Cody at Rollins,
yeah,
he said, "Rumors are a lot of fun, but rumors don't make moments at WrestleMania."
right.
Then he goes
He's
on
another level right now, man.
Then he
He's
goes
so
on
good.
to
He's great.
propose that he will take AJ's place against Edge, which I'm like, what? That would make zero sense. But I see what they're doing. And then AJ
number
says,
one contenders match to fight Edge.
To fight Edge.
Right. So as AJ says, as long as he's able to walk, he will be at WrestleMania. So Rollins twists that in his own mind, is like, wait, so you're saying if you can't walk, then I can take your spot? So then Adam Pearce comes out, and for some reason, the worst general manager ever at this point, he's like, all right, Rollins, you get what you want. You can challenge AJ. This storyline they've been building, who cares?
That's fine.
Right, yeah.
And
Don't worry
gives
about
him the match against AJ, but however, if Seth loses, it's his last chance, quote unquote, to get a spot at WrestleMania.
Sure.
So in that main event, Rollins and AJ Styles go head to head with the opportunity at WrestleMania on the line. I said this as a side note. By the way, honestly, my honest opinion, Raw has been halfway decent lately.
It has, yeah.
And in the main events from both this week and last week, freaking awesome.
This week's was fantastic. That's one of my dream matches. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens.
Right.
Fuck
It
yeah.
was awesome.
Get me
AJ
all
wins.
that.
So AJ ends up winning. Yete, that is. He wins via DQ.
And I
due
do.
to an attack by Edge. Good choice to finish because it was Seth's last chance technically, but he also technically did not lose.
Yeah.
After the match, he gets on the mic and says straight up, "This is bullshit," and goes on to throw a tantrum after saying he's going to hold Raw hostage next week if he doesn't get what he wants.
Did you guys notice here the Cody chant started again and they turned them down?
They turned him down. Yeah, I did notice that.
I noticed that. Like, plus, too, they were turning down chants a lot when Becky was talking earlier in the night. Becky came out with this like ridiculous outfit on. And
She gave a good promo though.
Yeah, that was a good promo.
Yeah, she did. She was like walking like a robot. It was funny. And then but they were you could tell they were turning down the noise a lot while but yeah, it was a good promo. Yeah. Becky promo.
The one thing I wanted to mention about Raw is I like The Miz as a person. I like him. Like, I don't know him obviously, but I like him in real life. He seems like a fantastic guy. I want him to leave wrestling for good. I cannot stand watching him in any segment, period.
The Miz?
Yes. I'm so sick of Miz TV, another mixed tag
Was
match.
he even on Raw?
Yeah, he had the thing with fucking...
Yeah, with...
The mask. He stole Mysterio's mask.
Yeah, he stole the mask.
Oh, yeah, I skipped past that.
I can't handle him anymore. That is like the piss break
That's a
of all
storyline.
piss break matches.
That's a storyline I give zero fucks about, so I completely skipped it.
When was the last time you cared about a Miz storyline?
Mizdow.
When he had the IC title?
Yeah, when he had the IC title.
That was pretty good. When he had the
I
IC
actually
title.
do like The Miz. I'm opposite of AJ. I actually really enjoy The Miz.
I can't stand him.
Yeah.
And I'm very like obviously respectful. I respect what he's done because of where he came from, how much he's been shit on, and how he still got to where he's at.
Which is it's great, but I really wish that creative would give him something else because I cannot stand whenever they give him
that damn IC title back so he can freaking make it
do
prestigious
something.
again.
I feel like it's eventually going to happen. The other thing I think is funny on Raw right now is they're getting some personality out of Tamina because she's doing this thing where
It's a comedy.
Tozawa are kind of he thinks that she's like falling in love with him, and she's always like talking about the match and not love. So it's kind of funny, but
and then she's always Dick gets her.
Yeah. That's all I got for Raw.
24/7 championship stuff doesn't get in my notes. It never lands.
No, never.
Yeah, that was Monday Night Raw. Let's go to NXT. You got anything for Raw, Michael?
No.
Moving on.
Would you agree that it's been a little better as of late?
It's really hard to gauge. I mean, like, even...
It should be. We're heading to Mania. It should be getting good,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like, so
That's a
are you
good
comparing
point.
it to, like, the last month's Raw or last year's Raw?
I'd say last
before
year.
Mania?
Yeah, last year.
Oh, yeah. The last couple years of build to Mania have been god-awful. I hate The Miz. I completely agree with AJ on this. His matches are boring to watch. I hear the term "it kick" one more time, I'm going to pull the remaining hair I have out of my head.
You prefer
What about your face?
I prefer he not do them and come up with his own goddamn moves.
He does the figure four also.
Yeah. And he stole that full Nelson facebuster from like I don't even remember who took it from. He took it from, but I think Jericho actually came up with it first.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a stolen finisher.
Oh.
I don't like him. I love Damian Sandow. There you go.
R-Truth used to have something similar with a mic check.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he did.
Best.
Yeah.
I'll look that up while you guys are going over the car crash that is NXT 2.0.
So NXT 2.0. Speaking of opening up, we had two people advance to the North American title match at Stand Deliver, and that is Solo Sikoa and Grayson Waller.
Voila!
I don't know why that one was so good, but it was.
Solo Sikoa beat Roderick Strong. Surprise, surprise. And Grayson Waller.
Voila!
A-Kid. He beat A-Kid.
Yeah.
Not a kid, but A-Kid.
And then, he beat a kid?
And then
Why is he fighting kids?
Carmelo Hayes announced that next week the three losers, Cameron Grimes, Roderick Strong, and A-Kid, of the three losers of the qualifying matches will compete for the final spot in the North American Championship ladder match at Stand Deliver.
Voila.
Okay.
Voila. Next up, Tony D'Angelo uses crowbar literally in front of the ref's face.
Not
to
the
defeat...
WCW wrestler crowbar.
Not kidding. Yeah, the wrestler, he picked up the wrestler.
Like he picks up crowbars. Like, wow.
Yeah,
Like
he uses...
Wait, wasn't that one of the members of Retribution? Crowbar?
T-bar.
Slapjack.
Right.
Slapjack.
Okay.
Flappy Jacks.
Slapjack and Waffler.
The Waffler.
And the Hamburglar.
They would have gotten over.
So Tony D'Angelo uses his crowbar. So his crowbar is like he's trying to be one of those guys that identifies with an illegal weapon,
crowbar?
like Triple H with a sledgehammer or the chairman with the chair. He's got his crowbar.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
He uses it literally in front of the ref's face to defeat Dexter Lumis, but apparently the ref didn't see it. Afterwards, he calls out Tommaso Ciampa, and Ciampa ambushes him and lands a fairy tale ending, saying it will be your fairy tale ending at Stand Deliver in Dallas.
I hate Tony D'Angelo.
I do too.
I don't mind him.
It's the gimmick, that mafioso gimmick. Remember when FBI had that gimmick and it was the most cringe-worthy goddamn thing ever?
Full-blooded Italians?
Wait, who were FBI? Was that Little Guido and
Yep.
Mamaluke, Tony
From
Mamaluke?
ECW.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't like them either.
It was the most like...
And the reincarnation with SmackDown, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the most I feel embarrassed for you thing. And then like I hate mobster gimmicks. I think they're just painful to watch.
What about the Good Father?
Don't you dare.
We need to do a pod on what Michael likes. What does
be a
Michael
very
like?
short pod.
It's just like,
right, yeah. What is
it's like
Carl
Gotch.
Another day.
Next up, we had go ahead.
Real quick, Jericho did in fact invent the skull crushing finale. Yes, it is the full Nelson Slam. He performed it on The Rock in 2001.
Yeah, neat. I didn't know that.
One of the many things that Chris Jericho invented in wrestling.
Indeed.
Braun Breaker. I can't speak today either, AJ.
Hey.
Braun Breaker defeated the glorious Robert Roode but gets laid out afterwards by the NXT champion Dolph Ziggler.
That young upstart Dolph Ziggler.
Yep,
Braun Breaker has grown on me so much. Like, I can't wait for him to do things now. I like him.
It's too bad he's at NXT 2.0.
Yeah.
We got anything else in NXT, Primo?
Yeah, I have a few things.
Okay.
LA Knight steps up to Imperium and challenges Walter for a match at Stand and Deliver. He tells him at one point, he's like, "Don't ever interrupt me again, son." Like, to Walter's face. I was like, all right. But because I like that match, and I can't wait, because LA Knight's one of those people that needs to go ahead and come to the main roster. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, Braun Breaker is one of those people who I like, by the way, but needs to stay in NXT 2.0 for the foreseeable future.
That's interesting too.
How old is LA Knight? He's got to be in his mid-30s.
He's early 30s, but he's like so polished though, and he needs to be on the main roster. He needs to get development.
He's awesome.
He's great.
His promos, his work, everything. He's ready. Like, obviously, he used to be champions in other promotions, but
oh my God, he's 39.
Yeah, 39.
He needs to get out of developmental.
He's been developed. God damn it!
I mean, he's been backstage at the main shows a couple times, but yeah. And finally, EOS. This one, okay.
Yeah.
I just have a rant here about this. After I tell you what happened. Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray win the Women's Dusty Cup. They used their championship opportunity to forego the tag titles that this whole tournament was about, by the way, and make the Women's NXT Championship match at Stand and Deliver a Fatal 4-Way instead. So they entered into this tournament along with all these other women competitors, and they won the whole damn thing and basically spit in all the other tag team spaces that were like trying to get that tag team title shot. And it was like, no, fuck the tag titles. I want the singles title.
Fuck these tag titles. They mean nothing.
Before you start your rant, Primo,
Rant
did
over.
they ever say that you could actually do that if you won? I thought it was only for the tag title.
So, yeah, I thought that was the whole, like, it was an unspoken rule. That they're just like, we're doing what we want now.
I mean, it is Io Shirai. Just swords and stuff.
I mean, I thought that was a freaking, like an odd pairing anyway, Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray, but because they're a mismatched couple. But, it is what it is. They won. Now that's going to be a Fatal 4-Way. It's another way to, and so now Cora Jade isn't going to get a singles victory. So get a Fatal 4-Way victory instead.
Wah, wah.
And Dirty? That's WWE.
What do you guys think about Cora Jade?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
I feel like they're trying. They're trying.
Yeah,
with
they
that.
are, but
yeah.
I don't dislike her. I don't really like her. Like,
I just don't know. So
if she's there, cool.
She's a thing.
What's that?
I acknowledge she's a thing.
Yes, I do acknowledge that she does in fact exist.
She's like young AJ Lee.
Yeah, that's a good comparison, actually.
All right, let me go over this Impact Wrestling from last week so we can get to the Dropkick discussion here. Start off the show, they had a Scott Hall graphic in memory of to start off the show. I thought that was really cool. And then we go into the Motor City Machine Guns versus Jay White and Chris Bay of the Bullet Club. Fast and Furious match. Motor City Machine Guns haven't lost anything as a tag team. They end up winning by roll up on Bay. It was they got him on a roll up on Bay. Jay White tried to interfere, but he was about a millisecond too late to break up the pin. So nice little feud they got going on there. But Machine Guns, boys, they're back, man. It's awesome.
Yes. One of my favorites of all time. I was so pumped.
And then something I thought you guys would be kind of fun is Matt Raywalt and Tom Hannafin are joined by Anthony Corelli. Does that name sound familiar?
It sounds familiar, but I'm blanking on.
That would be one Santino Marella commentary with these guys.
Oh,
by the way, the first time I ever heard him speak out of character, I was mind blown.
Same. Yeah, and it'll do it to you on this show too. So, but yeah, so he was on commentary. I think they're kind of filling him out and seeing how he's doing here. So, so he was on there for a little while. Later on, we see Heath and Rhino are once again a tag team, so they're back together. Jonah and PCO continue their feud. They advertise next week that Mickie James, Hardcore Country, will get her rematch for the Knockouts title. So got that coming up. And then we got another Masha Slamovich squash match. Not a bear, but she's getting ready for the bear.
Yeah, bear's coming. That's all that matters.
The bear is coming.
Yeah. So we
they
figured
need like
out
a Veer graphic for the bear.
So we figured out Johnny Swinger's back. He's traded in Swinger's Palace for Swinger's Dungeon. We got some crazy S&M stuff going on. So this is kind of funny little gimmick. But Josh Alexander
take over Impact.
Right, yeah. Main event is Josh Alexander and Matt Taven. Josh ends up winning by a C4 spike. And, throughout the whole match, the commentators talk about how Josh is on a mission now that he's back with Impact. So the show starts to go off. They're advertising Rebellion for April 23rd, where Josh is wrestling Moose. Moose shows up, one of the cheesy, grainy videos. He shows up. He is at Josh's house with an envelope. His wife answers the door, hands the envelope to Josh's wife, and he tells him that, take this to the Impact office because you guys are going to be there quicker than I will, or you'll see them before I will, or something like that. So, so she just kind of looks at the envelope, kind of backs up, her hands over her children, like she's scared, like, don't hurt us,
Like, how the hell do you know where I live?
Right, yeah. So more lead up to Rebellion, which is coming up here very, very soon, April 23rd. What do you guys think here right off the bat, man? Any chances? Is this the time Josh takes the belt off of Moose here?
It should be Moose. It should have been last week. Well, actually, I wanted Heath to take it off. Moose,
you involved family now.
Mm-hmm.
Got time to take the belt off.
Josh's time. God damn it,
Josh's time. Also, I do have one more thing. I don't mean to cut back to Raw, but AJ reminded me of it about Veer still coming. They actually have an official date now, if y'all didn't know.
Yeah. Monday after Mania.
Monday after Mania, April 4th.
April 4th. Yeah.
So we can all be we know that first Monday Night Raw after Mania is not going to be as awesome as we think it is.
Cody can squash him.
Yeah, God, I hope so. That would be great.
All right, yeah, so that's it for Impact, and that'll do it for the weekly recap. Let's head into the Dropkick discussion, Primo.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Havens, the Argyle assassin himself, giving them all the shivers.
This is the one and only Mike Hartenbauer.
This is Space Jesus Billy Starks.
This is referee Dan Perch.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw. You can address me as yours rudely. And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
You guys are listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
You're listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
Come celebrate pro wrestling right here on the Sit Down Marks podcast.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With Primo, DB, and AJ.
You're listening to DB, Primo, AJ here on the Sit Down Marks podcast, the best podcast for professional wrestling.
Well, thank you there, Mr. Havens. We sure do appreciate that fine compliment from you.
Give them all the shivers.
Give them all the shivers. All right, so for the month of March, we've been covering famous WrestleMania matches. This week, we are at WrestleMania 31. We're going to be covering Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. This one took place March 29th, 2015 in Santa Clara, California. This was out on the West Coast, so, even during the main event, it was still kind of daylight out. So that, made it the ambiance a little different, I guess you should say. This took place at 49ers, San Francisco 49ers Stadium. Levi Stadium is actually what it's called. They said roughly about 77,000 people there, and about 260,000 people bought this pay-per-view, excluding the WWE Network. So the WWE Network was a thing then.
Wait, was it really?
Yeah, it was. All right, so
weird.
We are in Roman hatred era during this time, right?
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
They are shoving Roman down our faces, our throats each and every week. During this time, just give you a little background. At Fastlane, the pay-per-view before WrestleMania that year, Roman had beat Daniel Bryan to secure his number one contendership, to make him the number one contender going into WrestleMania. So, all right, so we get to the entrances. We got Roman Reigns coming through the crowd. He's got the old Shield music playing that we're familiar with, that he adopted at his own later on, basically, I think, until he got to the Tribal Chief, I think. But
Yeah, the whole time.
yeah, all right. So he comes out. Shield's music's playing in the background. Michael Cole says this is Roman's first WWE title match. I never did check that, but I'm assuming it was. So
that can't be true.
That's what I was saying too. I thought, but we'll see. But
he was a tag champ.
And a US champ.
WWE World title match, like heavyweight,
that's gotta be
single. Yeah. So anyway, this is where we kind of get that cool shot of Roman. He does the punch in the middle of the ring. They're doing the 360 spin around the ring, which I thought was always a cool shot. And then the fireworks are going off, from the stadium and everywhere else as he, punches the mat. So next up comes Brock. We get the classic Brock entrance with Paul Heyman. Fireworks going off around the stadium for the main event. Lillian Garcia introduces them. Like I said, too, it's still daylight here in the main event because it's in California. And then Paul takes the mic from Lillian to do his gimmick, for his Brock Lesnar, thing he has to get over. So what'd you guys see here just for the entrances, AJ?
The infamous sign, Roman is a wank pheasant.
Yep.
One of my favorite signs in the crowd of all time, Roman is a wank pheasant. This is, like you said, the not quite pinnacle of the Roman hatred, but this is getting up there.
Yeah.
The Roman is a wank pheasant. But I will agree that when he punched the ground and the 360 shot, very cool shot. Very cool, baby face.
Primo?
I have a lot.
Just from the entrance?
From the pre-match, yeah. Let's start with, it's blue-eyed goatee Roman Reigns.
Oh my God.
Yep.
I kept calling him Swedish Reigns because of I hated the
He looked great, though. He looked great even then. He looked great.
The blue eyes thing was so stupid.
I totally prefer his normal eyes with beard.
Yes.
It's so funny seeing this promo package with currently the exact opposite happening between Brock and Roman, with Paul Heyman's allegiance also being opposite. I said I never liked the vest Roman used to wear. I never liked it.
Stupid.
I feel like they made Roman take so when he came out through the crowd, I feel like they made him take this really awkward path. Instead of a straight shot, he had to went a little bit, then turned, then came back. It was really weird.
He shoved a fan too. Did you guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah, right off the bat. Yeah.
Roman's ovation is so night and day to what it is now. The stadium would be going insane for the Tribal Chief. Yes. And they're only mildly interested and very disappointed to see young Roman. Brock entering with the same championship belt that he's entering into this year's WrestleMania with. And gotta say, I prefer ponytail and beard on Brock more than clean-shaven, high and tight Brock. And lastly, for the third week in a row, because I don't remember the first week, it's Mike freaking Chioda again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure was, yeah. Michael, what you got on the entrances here?
Yeah, we're starting to get into the very thick of the go-away Roman Reigns era. It won't come until a massive climax until he wins the Royal Rumble and gets the Rock booed next year.
No, that was this year.
That was to get into this match, I believe.
Are you sure? Because he had to fight Bryan to get his contendership for it.
Yeah, well, but that was just the Fastlane pay-per-view. He won the Rumble in Philadelphia in 2015.
Oh, wait. This is 14, though, right?
No, this is 15.
This is 15. Yeah.
Oh, my mistake.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're right then. For some reason, I thought you said it was 2014. Anyway, my mistake. Moving on. We're in the very, very thick of Roman Reigns hatred right now and go away. Right. Also, no one cared about this match. No one. No one bought this pay-per-view looking forward to seeing Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. because no one wanted to see Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania. They wanted Daniel Bryan.
Right. But if you watch the match, though, swerve, like, it was good. It was good.
Was it dirty?
I will say that.
Okay.
Watching
well, I mean, we're going to talk about that. So.
I'm
going to talk about it.
The finish was good, is what you're saying.
Rewatching it at the time, obviously, fucking just seething hatred for the match until the finish. Right. Now going back, pretty entertaining.
Well, we're all going to watch it because it's a Mania main event, so that's why we watch it. But I mean, I remember watching that, going, I'm not really interested at all.
Regardless,
I didn't like Roman either.
I haven't missed a Mania in 20 years.
Right, yeah. So, and then we got, what happens at the end that kind of brings it all back. So, all right, so let's get to the match then. We got a fast start by Brock, who does a German and an F5 to get it started, and basically the destruction of Roman Reigns commences. So we got lots of knees here. Roman tried to knock Brock to the canvas at one point, but did not succeed. Roman starts to smile at the pain as they start to tell the story of Roman's heart is basically what they, going through a lot in this match. So, the kid's got heart, is what they kept saying a lot, during this match. But so, Roman's taking all kind of suplexes, and then we hear Brock coin the phrase "Suplex City, bitch," which still is said to this day, 7 years later. It was a kind of a cool little saying that kind of hanged on. But Roman's taking a beating. The crowd is starting to chant, "This is awesome," faintly, not really loud, but "this is awesome," because Roman's getting the crap beat out of him. That's kind of what those fans are the ones that are starting to do it. But so
that's
Roman
catches. God damn it.
Roman catches Brock with a hard knee, which, I think that Brock didn't like, and ends up paying for it when he gets a reciprocated clothesline by Brock that takes these guys outside the ring. A stiff one, really stiff one. So, all right, so to this point, we got so many suplexes and pinfalls. Michael Cole starts to say Roman has guts, Roman has heart. This guy's never going to back down. He's always going to stand up. So anyway, as he does that, Brock starts to deliver more F5s. Roman starts to smile back more. Brock starts to, have this look on his face like, what's it going to take for me to put this guy down? So outside the ring they are. Roman finally starts to rally. He pushes Brock into the ring post, which I think busted his head open there. It was a pretty hard lick there. So he's starting to get the Crimson Mask. Cuts his head open. Brock gets back in the ring. He gets 3 straight Superman punches from Roman and 2 spears for Roman's first near fall of the match. And we're getting close to the cash-in here. So this is Roman's first fall, after being in the match for as long as they've been in it already. So we get here. There's another counter from Brock who turns, I think, if I counted right, this was the 4th F5 he took from Brock, which lays them both out. Now, this is where they're both laid out before we get the cash-in. What do you guys got up until the cash-in? Michael, you go first.
Brock Lesnar's boring. I can only see so many German suplexes, knees, and F5s before I get the point. Like, I get it. Real quick, that was a hard way when he busted his head open. Roman Reigns, at this point in his career, is very boring. Very punchy, kicky, clothesline, Superman punch, spear. You have 2 guys at the top of the card that are just boring as hell to watch. That's not to say that Brock Lesnar's not a genius for getting his matches over using the least amount of effort possible. Very smart. I hate Brock Lesnar matches. I do. They are so boring. And I don't really care if no one agrees with that, because I'm right and they're not.
Primo, what do you got?
All right, so let's get to the match. I have immediately, number 1, Brock Lesnar stopped you putting Jimmy Johns on his shorts after the deal expired in 2019. For those that don't know, the dude doesn't eat bread. He's been keto for 8 years. So He was sponsored by a product he doesn't even use. Unless he gets their lettuce sandwiches, I guess.
Less wraps, yeah.
But they are freaky fast. However, Brock Lesnar isn't in this match particularly. But he does start off destroying Roman Reigns as soon as the bell rings. Commentary really kept playing off Brock's eye being cut open, saying it was Roman's best shot. But in reality, it was probably a complete accident. His thumb probably caught him or something stupid.
Yeah,
but they
just
really
like a little thumbnail.
They really tried to play it. Commentary would not leave it alone. The crowd chanting "This is awesome" when Brock is destroying Roman, and then booing Roman when he gets any offense. This was a time when Roman just could not get over with anyone, no matter what happened. We were done with him. I like when Brock takes off the gloves. So he goes to take off the gloves. I compared it to when Kurt Angle would drop the straps. That's whenever they're about to kick into another gear, as business is about to pick up. And then, lastly, they're towards the finish. Brock selling after the Superman punches were great. I was laughing at his selling of those Superman punches. That's all I got there.
Hey, Jay?
He was all like wobbly legged and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great too.
Wouldn't him taking off the gloves just make his hands take damage when he hit him in the head?
No, it would cause more.
It's supposed to be like, no, now I'm bare knuckle fighter.
Bare knuckle boxing. Rawr.
Yeah.
He would just break. Gloves are to protect the fighter's hands. It's not the other way around.
But you're not supposed to think like an adult.
God damn it!
So, couple of things I will say that haven't been covered is, DBU kind of covered it when Roman kind of gives Brock a stiff knee a little bit, and Brock was like, "Oh no, you fucking don't!"
Yeah,
and just murders him with nice little receipt clothesline there. I love that.
Yes, it was.
So I hated this match when I first saw it. Like, obviously it was only 7 years ago. I was aboard the fuck off Roman Reigns bandwagon as well. This match, watching it now, if it would have been anyone else but Roman Reigns, the match setup was actually pretty interesting. Like, it was kind of enticing. Like, here's this babyface just getting the shit just whooped out of him. He's not getting, like, he's kicking out every time. He's laughing because he's a moron and he doesn't know any better than to just, flailingly kick out.
Yeah.
So I tried to watch it with kind of like through that lens, but I couldn't. I hated Roman Reigns so much. I hated that he was laughing. I loved it when Brock slapped the shit out of his face. And I love the Roman is awake pleasant sign. I want that on a t-shirt.
All right, so it's time for the cash in. Here's where it gets interesting. Here's what to me makes this match interesting. So we got immediately, both guys are down. Immediately, Seth Rollins' music hits. Okay, Seth starts running to the ring. Lillian Garcia says that Seth is cashing in his Money in the Bank contract and that this is now a triple threat match. So the bell rings finally. Seth kicks Roman out of the ring to start right off the bat. Quick curb stomp on Brock Lesnar. He goes for a second curb stomp, but Brock gets him, scoops him up on his shoulders to go for an F5 attempt. And then we get to the finish. Here's where the finish goes down. When he's up on his shoulders for the F5 attempt, Roman Reigns wakes up, runs all the way around the other side of the ring, jumps in the ring, spears Brock with Seth on his shoulders. Seth hops off as Brock is being speared down. Brock rolls out of the ring. Then the finish. Seth does a beautiful curb stomp on Roman when he goes to get up from the spear for the pin. And new WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, which this is one of my favorite celebrations of the title. He celebrates very quickly, takes off running like he stole the belt all the way back up to the top of the ramp, and to me does one of the most famous title winning celebrations, two-handed, swinging the belt over his head, which was really cool to me. And then we hear JBL say he built the Shield, tore it down, and now is the WWE champion as fireworks go off. Seth holds up the title. And this is how the show goes off. So, what do you guys got for the finish here, Primo?
They say right there before Seth came out, Who can capitalize? And then, boom, music. Such timing, huh?
Right.
WWE has.
It's like they knew or something.
Yeah, out comes Seth running to the ring. I wrote "Let's go" because I was ready. I was pretty excited. I myself can appreciate how Seth tried to take out Brock first instead of Roman. Like, he tossed Roman aside, tried to go for the champ, tried to go for Brock, and at this point they're still early into their main roster. This is just post Shield. Still, he still had the yellow streak in his hair. I always thought the final sequence of the attempted F5 into a spear into a curb stomp was pretty cool. And then Seth's first WWE Championship, such a cool moment. And a side note, this is also the same WrestleMania with the amazing curb stop counter RKO.
Best RKO in the history of RKOs.
Mm-hmm. Even Randy Orton marked out to that RKO.
Right.
He knew what he did.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So,
Michael, AJ?
Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, blah. Seth Rollins saved this main event. Like this, the crowd did not get. They just wanted to chant stuff, so they latched on to counting the suplexes.
Yeah,
they didn't give a fuck. Seth Rollins saved this main event, and it's the best cash in I've ever seen live. I mean, obviously I wasn't there, but best cash in I've ever seen.
Yeah,
best possible way to end this match because the crowd just didn't care. I mean, the alternative would have been, 80,000 people booing Roman Reigns if he had taken that belt off of Brock Lesnar. Instead, they went nuts when super smarmy heel Seth Rollins cashes in and wins the belt. And I agree. I loved it. Like, it's one of my favorite celebrations ever where he's just
two-handed, awesome,
spinning the belt, just pure joy on his face. And I love Seth Rollins. Like, right when the Shield, like, normally I'm a babyface guy, but right when the Shield broke up, I was all about Seth Rollins. I fucking loved him so much. So I thought this was amazing. I loved it so much. The actual match, fuck you. The finish, yeah.
Yeah. Michael, what about your thoughts on the finish here?
Here's why this finish makes no sense. How many F5s and German suplexes did Roman Reigns take?
4 and 10, I believe.
4 F5s that I counted. Germans, I don't know, but
I think it was 10.
4 F5s. Okay, sure. The crowd was counting at one point.
One curb stomp.
Yeah.
After all that, though.
That's all. He had enough energy to get up and hit the spear.
Right.
And you're telling me Roman Reigns can kick out of 4 F5s and double-digit German suplexes, but one.
The suplexes are supposed to be moves. F5s are finishers. So that's what.
He didn't kick out of the first one. Brock didn't go for a pin. He was just like, yeah, whatever.
Oh yeah.
No, he took them though, and then kept kicking out.
Yeah.
That was all he had in the tank. It was a last-ditch effort.
Here's another thing. Okay, so one curb stomp. So we're putting the curb stomp over massive here. Except
it should be.
Brock Lesnar took one that immediately was going to F5 him.
Yeah.
So where's
That's
the
true.
consistency in the move?
That's the part that you're right on that. Yeah, but if you think of it like impact, if you think of them as an actual move, curb stop would trump an F5.
Yeah.
But you're right with the consistency.
Maybe he just didn't know where he was because he was so out of it from the curb stop, and he was just going on pure Southern Minnesota instinct.
He's just his arms are auto scooping things
yes,
for F5s.
like he didn't know. Like, you know when people get knocked out in like football or whatever, like they're going for a catch, and then they get knocked out, their arms are still up, like if they're going for it. That's what he was doing. He was so loopy,
but he was still.
All right.
Real quick, the second thing that doesn't make sense about the finish of this match: Brock Lesnar has a submission hold, the Kimura lock. It's a great submission hold.
Yeah.
He's beaten many people with it. If you can't beat Roman Reigns with a power move, why is he not going for that Kimura lock?
Suplex.
But do you see what I'm saying, though? Like, they made him look like a fool. Like, okay, power moves aren't working. I'm a trained UFC champion. I know I need to switch up my game, right? If I can't beat him with striking moves or power slams, I have to go for the submission hold that I've also mastered.
Yeah, they were playing the story of, which I agree with you, but they were playing the story of Brock just basically kicking the can, around the ring.
Yeah.
Like, all they had to do to make that is just like, okay, he injured his arm, so he can't lock the Kimura on. That's all they had to do to have it make sense.
Yeah.
And then have him go for it and Reigns counters it somehow. Like, that shit drives me fucking crazy. I'm sorry.
All right. Go ahead. One. All right, let me put a bow on this thing. All right, so Brock and Seth would continue their rivalry. Brock, during this time was in and out, so he would be in and out. Seth would end up beating Randy Orton at Extreme Rules in Chicago on the very next pay-per-view to retain the title. All right, boys, real quick, let's rate this thing. Where does this thing stand as far as Mania matches to you? Quickly, is this top 5, top 10, top 15, top 20? Briefly tell us why, AJ.
Doesn't rank.
Not in top 20.
If you went just for the ending, then it would be probably top 10 endings of a WrestleMania match ever. But if you put the whole thing together, no, fuck off. Not even top 50.
Okay, Michael?
Not even top 50. Ending is great. It's exactly what the crowd wanted. Vince McMahon made a great audible on that.
Right.
But as a match goes, no, not even top 50.
Primo?
I'd say it ranks like because of the ending. The ending is what's memorable. They still call it the heist of the century. So they still reference it. Seth Rollins' first WWE Championship. I'd make it 45 out of 50.
Yeah. I don't think it's that high, but I'm not going to put it as high as top 20. I think it's somewhere in the 30 to 40 range. You know what I mean? Probably higher, closer to 40 if I had to choose. Yeah, the cash-in makes it all, but the cash-in was epic. There was. Seth's face, after he won,
Yeah, that's real. That's him. He's, coming from Ring of Honor, winning the WWE Championship for the first time at WrestleMania.
Yeah, in a pretty spectacular fashion as well.
And that's why the crowd also is cheering him. They don't give a fuck that he's heel. He's Tyler Black.
Yeah.
So,
real quick, Dirty, do you know how long before it happened did he get the notification it was happening? Do you know
It was like halfway through the show, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like he learned during the show, didn't he, that he was cashing in and winning?
Yeah, there was going to do it on the. There was they decided on the fly that night to cash it in.
Which he lost to Randy Orton, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
Yep. Retained the title though. All right, so that's going to do it for that Dropkick discussion of the week. Next week is the final one of the month. We're going to cover HBK and Undertaker from WrestleMania 36. 26. Did I put 36 on there? I did, didn't I?
That's a doozy of a match to cover.
Yeah, it is. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's going to do it for the Dropkick discussion of the week.
I'm Dakota, and you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
All right, this week's interview, me and Primo got to talk to Zeke Zshe. He is a stand-up comedian, but he is a Zowa Live owner and promoter. It was cool to talk to him, man. He had a lot of different stories. It was kind of cool to hear from that different perspective, wasn't it, Primo?
It was very cool. Yeah, he's actually obviously you'll hear during the interview. Great conversation. Time actually got away from us. This one is probably our longest interview to date.
Yeah.
We just honestly could have kept talking, but we just cut it short for time's sake. But we'll probably definitely have him back on. He was a great conversation, and you'll get to learn the famous questions Sit Down Marks asks. So you'll figure it out. That like specifically what's on AJ's t-shirt right now, pancakes or waffles. You'll learn.
Yeah, I had a really cool interview here with Zeke Zshe. Got a lot of big shows coming up, and we talk about all that and more. So here's our interview with Zowa Live promoter and owner Zeke Zshe. All right, today's guest. We've gotten to know this guy a lot here lately and done some business with him. We've been more than honored to sponsor a lot of these shows that's been going on here lately in Zowa Live. Looking forward to this one, man. We're going to pick a promoter's brain here and see what it's like to be a booker, if you will. Joining us here for the first time, thank you for being on the pod here, Zeke Zshe, the promoter and owner of Zowa Live. Thanks for being here, dude.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I'm very excited for this. I love all of your podcasts that I've heard so far.
Hey, thanks for the support, man. You've been texting us, we've had some Zowa Live wrestlers on, Bucky, Mr. Havens, Hartenbauer, so we, appreciate you, supplying those guys, helping us, get those guys on, man. So it's nice to finally get to talk to somebody different here in Zowa Live, the man that kind of puts it all together. You've been, I have to admit, man, you've been putting on some really awesome cards here lately. I'm excited to talk about money from last weekend in Prophetstown because none of us were able to go to that show, man. So I'm anxious to see how that one all went down. So how was it, man? How was Prophetstown last Saturday night for the big card out there?
Oh, it was great. So yeah, that should be dropping on IWTV probably within the next couple. It'll be by the time this podcast drops, it'll be on there. So awesome. It's going to be it was a great show. Provincetown, as I don't know if anybody out there listening knew or not, we kind of split our roster up almost kind of like WWE did back in like 2002-ish or whatever, where it's one half SmackDown, one half Raw. Well, we did Provincetown one half and then Sterling one half. And it turned out that the Provincetown roster was just like a lot of veteran guys that just kind of knew how to work. I didn't have to tell anything to anybody, and they just kind of put on a great show for all three shows we had in Provincetown, and this show was no different at all. Started out fast with Hopkins versus CJ Cole. That was a really athletic type match. And then through the rest of the show, kind of had some good storylines going that is going to lead up to April 23rd.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited about April 23rd. It's the 5-year anniversary of Zowa Live. They're saying, I've seen it out there. It's going to be the biggest show in Zowa Live history. So we're definitely going to be talking about that later on. But let's rewind, Zeke, man. Let's go back here, brother. Tell us, man, how did Zeke become the owner and promoter of Zowa Live? How did that, land in your hands? We kind of know a little bit of the story from having some of your guys on the show, here. So, but from your word and your mouth, man, tell us how it became yours.
All right. Well, you guys are probably sick of hearing the name Bobby the Business Houston, but
because it's a cool name.
It is. It's awesome. He actually, I'll have to send you to it. He actually rapped his own entrance theme, and it's unbelievable. It was one of the best entrance themes for an indie wrestling ever. Bobby the Business Houston. Name. Yeah, maybe sometime you can have Bobby on because he's got some amazing stories. Bobby was trained by George South, which is kind of, if you don't know him, he's an enhancement talent from the Carolina regions. And
legendary enhancement talent.
He's done the job to everyone from Ric Flair to Hogan to everybody in between. And
yes, he has.
He's a legend, man. So a lot of the tricks and trades of promoting and booking we can trace from Zowa back to George South. So if you're ever watching a random match on Peacock and George South pops up, like, oh my God, that's Zowa. That's the Grandpa Zowa. Well, anyways, so Bobby the Business Houston, trained by George South, and he came back and he started up Funky Monkey Wrestling, which I'm thinking about starting to maybe see if I can get some of the archive video of that, because Funky Monkey was very similar to Zowa. A lot of the same roster. We had a great building. It was called the Latin American Social Club out in Sterling. We do shows at the Moose Lodge in Sterling, great place as well. Sure. In the summer, we get to be outside, so there's no restriction. In the winter and colder months, we have to be inside, so there's a little bit of a roof restriction. At our previous venue for Funky Monkey was Latin American Social Club, and that was kind of the start of how I got into monthly promoting, as far as figuring out what you have to do every month to keep people to keep coming back, rather than just throwing a one-off show.
Sure.
Yeah. I learned so much from Bobby Houston. He taught me how to budget a show, how to market a show, and basically what our audience is in our area, because I think our area has a very specific audience and they really like their early 90s WWE. They like their late 80s WWE, kind of the more simple heel and face stuff.
Gotcha.
So it's going back to Funky Monkey. Bobby, the business. He had a family. He's got 3 kids, so he kind of had to take a step back. And I didn't want to stop. And so I just kind of started running shows on my own and under the Zowa banner, because what we had done is called, for anybody who doesn't know out there, Zen of Wrestling Academy is what Zowa stands for. Zen of Wrestling Association when we do shows, but Zen of Wrestling Academy is what started Zowa. And we were actually just an academy for Funky Monkey, pretty much. We just trained kids that were going to be on Funky Monkey. And then when...
Gotcha. You were like a feeder system.
Right, basically, yeah. And then when Bobby kind of stepped back, we just did Zowa Live. So that kind of just... The name was right there. It's a live version of our academy. So, it worked out. It worked out great. And that's kind of how we got to the start of Zowa, at least.
Yeah. And, and it's grown into its own entity. So you kind of, you sat under the tree of Bobby the Business. So, you kind of learned the ins and outs and that. So that's awesome, man. Speaking of the Zowa Academy Zen of Wrestling Association, you guys just produced 2 wrestlers in Ty Montgomery and Everett Benton, who may have wrestled the best debut match of 2 guys. Like me and you both talked about it at the show. It was amazing. Like,
it was
these guys
unreal.
These guys, like Primo, like it looked like you expected going into your first match. Like, I mean, no doubt these guys, they had nerves, all that going on. But these guys jumped in there, and at one point, like, they had me so far into it, like it was, like I think it was Ty that was hurt at one point.
Right,
I really thought he was legit hurt.
Oh yeah,
like he had me totally into it. Like so much where I was feeling bad for the guy.
And that worked so well. And this is just kind of going peel behind the curtain a little bit here, but I think that works so well because a lot of the crowd was like, "Oh man, it's his first match. Did he really hurt him? Did he really execute that move properly? I mean, this is his first match. Is he really hurt?
Right.
And then he kind of, does the whole play possum, kick him in the shin into the corner thing. And it was so, I mean, I got goosebumps thinking about it right now.
Me too, man.
Because
you got everybody in the room, dude.
If you haven't checked it out, folks, you go to Indie Wrestling and check it out on IWTV. Yeah. It's from our Great Gig in the Sky event, and it was an unbelievable debut match. And I usually generally put younger guys with the older guys right away, but these guys have been wrestling together for about 6 months in our dojo, and
so they knew each other.
Wow, they were ready, man. And I hats off to them. This past Saturday at Money, they didn't miss a beat either. I mean, they're second and third. They each had 2 matches. Excuse me. They each had 2 matches on that particular show as well, and they didn't skip a beat. So I'm very proud of them. Looking forward to all of their future.
Yeah, man. There was a little bit of magic in that first match, man. And they both come out of it looking just fantastic, man. So I was going to say where I was getting with this is like this probably kind of when you train 2 guys and they have a match like that, the very first match, you're doing something right at the Zen of Wrestling Association there, Academy. And so you got to feel like kind of a proud papa, right?
Oh yeah. And this was a little bit even more proud for me because I generally let Christian Rose is generally our head trainer, but just the way things worked out schedule wise, he was only really able to train them more so the first 3 months. And so Bailey Bright actually kind of helped train these guys along with me. And I was a little bit more hands-on in this one as far as like their amateur wrestling style of those type of moves. And I think that like working in that kind of amateur way for a long time, kind of just reacting to the other person rather than kind of just here's this, and this, rather than, well, this is a live athletic contest and you're going to have to really react to it. So there was a lot of pride that I did have in that because there was a lot of hands-on for me And I think all of our Zowa wrestlers, I could go through them right now if you want, but I mean, I'm sure we'll cover that at some point. But I'm proud of all of them, from Dakota to Chiron to Berna to Bailey. I mean, they're all doing their own thing. Connor Hopkins is above and beyond where he should be at his point in career. He's doing some amazing things.
Dude, I'll second that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so I'm just proud of all those guys. And to have two more guys join the fray is it's awesome. I'm looking forward to their careers.
Yeah, really cool. So, Zeke, if anybody wants to join, get started, in professional wrestling, I'm assuming, this guys is what you do. You start from, the ground up. So where can people go? You guys are based in Northwest Illinois, I'm assuming, so.
Our main dojos are here in Rock Falls and Sterling, which basically is the same exact town, Rock Falls and Sterling. The only difference is a bridge that separates us. And basically here, we do have some locations in central Illinois, LaSalle, Illinois, Peru area.
Oh yeah, familiar with that old Dreamwave territory.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love LaSalle, Peru. Had some great times there. And
what's your link to Dreamwave, Zeke?
Oh yeah, I worked for Dreamwave for 2014 till they closed down. So yeah, I've got a lot of good memories there for sure.
Yeah.
And partied with a lot of my heroes and worked a lot of shows with my heroes there. But yeah, so we have a dojo down there as well in LaSalle, Peru. And it's a good time. Christian Rose heads up down there in Peru, and Hartenbauer gets involved with the guys. Hartenbauer has kind of been on the same path I have. We both started at Dreamwave at the same time. So we we were masked characters, and I used to manage him there actually. So
nice.
So I'll send you a picture sometime. It's
I've probably seen you at some point, dude. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've told Hartenbauer this. Dreamwave was one of the promotions that I started going to when I first moved here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? So because it was roughly just a little over an hour from my home. So that's when I kind of started seeing how Hartenbauer there in the beginning. So really cool though. But but getting back to Zowa, man, where anybody can join. How can they sign up? Put that information out there.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
So we basically kind of run through our social media, Facebook, Instagram, if you want to send a message, or Twitter. ZowaLive at gmail.com is our email. Usually email or social media is the best way to get involved. I kind of try to get a little bit of a scouting process. Don't really want any goofs involved. Sure. You got to goof proof it a little bit. and there's been some people that have tried to sign up where I just like, dude, what?
Right. Serious inquiries only.
Serious inquiries only.
Yes,
and
that's what
I don't mean that to be a jerk. I just mean that to be like, look in the mirror and
because we all have,
if it's realistic,
little time,
go for it. You know what I mean? But if it's not realistic, you're kind of wasting everybody's time.
All right, Zeke. So getting back to the promoter side, man, give me some stuff here. What's kind of the most fun about being promoter, and then what's not so fun about being a promoter?
Oh yeah. So what I love about promoting is it's just I just got back. So I went and put flyers up, and that's like 1980s stuff, 1970s stuff. You put flyers on door fronts and storefronts and wherever you can. I just went to Walmart. I put a flyer in the toy section.
I'm glad you said that.
Listen
to this, Primo. This is good shit.
They have, the toy belts and the action figures for WWE and AEW. Well, who's going to go to that section? Wrestling fans,
Wrestling
right?
people, yes.
So every month I go and I put my flyer down and right next to the
freaking brilliant idea, dude.
right next to the
it is, dude. I love it.
Watch me start dropping podcast cards
at exactly. So man,
don't think we ain't stealing that.
Think of if I was a stripping booker, man. I would have to be putting some flyers down some unusual places. But no, I love having repeat customers. I think Zowa fans, and this sounds so cheesy and so cliche, but Zowa fans are so damn loyal. I've seen the same 50 people. I mean, it's a rotate. We usually get about 100 to 200 people. That's kind of where we're at. That's just the brass tacks of it. And I see the same 50 people at every single show, and it's just they want to see what's next. They want to. So when you're booking and you got guys on our roster that I trust because we've either trained them or I've worked 10 years with them at some point along the way at Funky Monkey or wherever, it's so easy to like kind of just, hey, you guys know what you're doing, let you do it. I want to work on promoting it, and I'll edit the videos, and this is where we're going to go with things. I trust you guys to do it. And there's an aspect of just the anticipation of the event. It seems to run about every 2 weeks now. I didn't really intend to do that much, but that's where we're at. And so it's just the anticipation. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Just the anticipation of the show, and then seeing how the guys execute it. That's the whole thing right there. I love it.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I like seeing all the pieces and parts, come together with all the guys. But you said you didn't plan on running, roughly every 2 weeks. But I mean, you don't run, we think, we run every 2 weeks. That's a lot, but you don't run the same building,
right?
You run or the same town. A lot of times you run different towns, usually based in Northwest Illinois, up there. But that's kind of cool to be able to get that many towns in that area and that many venues. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times the venues is the big deal to get,
Right. And it's kind of like old school territory days, where
Absolutely.
you're running Memphis one day and Knoxville another day, or, I mean, obviously we're not running every day. It's not, the business isn't at that point.
Sure.
I don't know if it ever will be at that point again, but, it's kind of cool to have quote unquote towns that you have. Provincetown is my hometown. So obviously I have hometown connections there, and we run at the rec center there. Great venue. Excuse me.
Yeah.
More of a family friendly vibe there, kind of, because it's a community rec center. The Moose Lodge in Sterling, we started running there for fundraiser events. So they're great people. They always work with us, and we work together there. And that's kind of in my hometown now, Sterling, Rock Falls. So and then we used to run Oregon quite a bit, which is a great town too, but we don't have a venue right there right now, but we'll get back there as well. So
yeah, I mean, I was looking at the schedule coming up. I mean, you guys run polo. I've seen a bunch of, Dixon is coming up. So, a bunch of different towns up there, to kind of like grow Zowa in that area, which, I love that idea of how you're kind of laying that all out, man. But what I want to talk to you about too is some of the wrestlers that have come on the podcast. I was at this with Mr. Havens last time too. They are loving it because Zowa is growing right in front of their eyes. They're seeing bigger crowds. They're seeing, more interest, more, guys like us, wanting to talk to them, that kind of stuff. So, and they're almost, like Havens was saying, like, he's seeing it like grow right in front of their eyes. What do you think is the main chemical part to all that? Like, if, like we're literally seeing it growing right here, like, what do you think that all goes back to, Zeke?
The roster, 100%. The roster, those guys know how to react and how to handle our fans here. I think that if I booked 100 guys from the indie darling scene, which they're great, don't get me wrong, I love all those guys. I love anybody who's trying to make a buck in indie wrestling. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not disparaging them in the slightest. But I think if you brought in all those guys, they wouldn't know what to do in front of our crowd. I think our crowd is very specific and a little bit more comedy based than maybe what's kind of popular on the national indie scene right now.
Gotcha.
As far as a little less spots, our fans want a variety show here. They want a funny one. They want one. They want to get pissed at somebody. They want to cheer for somebody. They want to kind of get sad. They want to feel sad for somebody. Sympathy is a lot. It goes a lot in our continuing stories here. So I think it's a lot. The roster really makes it. Our behind the scenes crew has been doing a great job of every show. I think our production looks a little bit better aesthetically.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely it does. Yeah.
So we try to make sure that we have a family vibe as far as our presentation. And we still do some bar shows, but as far as our presentation and a family vibe as far as our crew, actually, which we all really love each other. And as cheesy and corny as that sounds, it makes it so much easier when you trust the guy right to your right and the guy to your left, or the gal to your left, or your gal to your right. You know.
Yeah, you can genuinely
it's like a pro. It's like a pro sports team or any sports team, really. It's just it's the team.
Yeah, you can generally tell that, we've been to a few shows now, that everybody generally, likes everybody there. It's definitely a camaraderie, type there with the roster. Another thing too, man, I want to talk about the roster. You were talking about, the crowd, being the fans being loyal, they, and I love to see this, when I go to wrestling shows, a lot of Zowa Live fans are emotionally invested in in this roster, in these guys. You know what I'm saying? They love Hartenbauer. They love Judd the janitor. You know what I mean? They love, Mr. Havens. They want to dance. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, they know what they're getting with these certain guys. And, and they look at a lot of these guys as somewhat like superheroes, when you post matches online, you're faithful, you're loyal, are going under the comments and hitting, Hartenbauer's got his work cut out for him here. You know what I mean? Like, and they can't wait for it, man. And it's cool. And I know going to the shows, I'm gonna get to see Tommy and Mark, guys that I've already started becoming friends with and talking to about the pod. And, and if we get to talk before the show comes on, we talk about what we think is going to happen. So, and that's kind of like when I really figured out that, hey, man, these guys are really emotionally invested in, you know what I mean? So I see why you go back there. Like the loyalty is unmatched. It really is. It really is.
Right. Yeah. It's just such a loyal fan base. And I think that we owe it to them to come up with new things. We owe it to them to give them a new product, but stay loyal to our guys. I mean, from way back in Funky Monkey, we've been running monthly shows since 2013. So if you go, I don't want to do the math right now. I've had a couple Budweisers and Busch Lights, so I'm not ready to do that math, but that's a lot of shows. So let's just say it like it is. 2013 till now is a lot of monthly shows, and you get attached to these characters. That's why when a guy goes from a quote unquote bad guy to a fan favorite, they're so emotionally invested in this character that they want to see them succeed now, because they respected how much they were trying to give them their entertainment as a bad guy. And I think I heard you talking about it on the Havens podcast. You guys would never have known it because you just started coming this year, but Havens was the number one heel. Right. I mean, when we did Funky Monkey, I was the manager, and Havens is the only one I was ever jealous of as far as the heat that guy could get just by walking out of the curtain. And you turn that around a few years, they're so emotionally invested in booing this guy that he makes a save one day, and oh my God, I love this guy. And it's just like that. And I love that. I love that aspect of our fans, is that they just, for those 2.5 hours or 3 hours, man, it's just like the old days. It's like the old days when you're watching TV, and I love that.
Yeah, and Zeke too, man. I will say from talking to the talent and a lot of the people that come to the shows. I don't know if they tell you personally, man, but they're all singing your praises. They love what you're doing with the wrestling in that area. You're getting a lot of compliments, man, and I'm one of them too. Since coming on board, man, and I think you're doing a hell of a job, brother.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and yeah. All those guys were paid that said that to you. So I mean,
they paid me to plug it in here.
There you go.
Paid actors,
yeah, trying to get a little bit more in that envelope.
So let me see, man. Let's get back to as a promoter, man. Give me a good story as a promoter, man. Like give me some good stuff here. I know you got some in the tank here.
Well, okay, yeah. We'll start with our first show was in Freeport at this cellular parking lot, and we had I think like 2 people that knew the show was actually going on, and then the neighborhood the neighborhood just kind of piled around like, what the hell is going on here? Why is there people fighting each other in this cell phone parking lot? Here's another one. I don't know why I always bring this one up, but I always do. The reason I put live pro wrestling on the top of every flyer is because I had a coworker that came to the show, watched the entire show, and then on Monday morning when we went back to work, she says, now that was like some sort of, I've never seen MMA like that before.
Oh, wow.
But not only did she think she was going to an MMA show, she watched an entire live pro wrestling show and still thought it was MMA.
Right. So
when Havens is dancing out to Shivers, she didn't think anything of that, apparently.
Right. She thought an Irish whip was MMA.
Right, yes. The Irish whip is the best defense to the Irish whip. You know what it is, right? Not running.
Not running.
Right. Yeah. Just stop.
Plant your feet.
My dad said, used to call the Irish whip, you're a victim of inertia.
My
gosh. That's another favorite story of mine. I love that. I had to explain to her. I was like, that was not MMA. That was pro wrestling. Oh, like WWE. Yeah.
Like,
didn't you catch on?
That makes so much
about
more
an hour and a half into it.
I get it now.
Cage fighters generally don't tell front row seat people to shut up.
Right. Yeah, they generally don't. Yeah.
I wish they would. That'd be great.
Be entertaining. I mean, Conor McGregor kind of figured out the whole whole aspect of it.
Zeke, you got to deal with a lot of personalities. You got to deal with a lot of different people. People are cool, people are strange, but some people are weird. But tell me though, what's the worst excuse you ever got from a wrestler for them not showing up for a card, not making a date for you or canceling?
Yeah. Well, we got one. I won't name any names, but they got to a rest stop and their tires were slashed. But then later in the day, it was that their car overheated. So they had doubled up on their excuses to me, and then kind of had to backtrack and retrace which was the actual lie and which was the. So other than that, we don't have a ton of guys that really cancel or lie. I've had a lot of people that just have oh man, I accidentally wrote down another date or something like that. But nothing too crazy, honestly. We had unfortunately back in the Funky Monkey days, we had Swoggle had to cancel, unfortunately, because of snow in April, and that's the Midwest. That's the Midwest for you.
Yeah, for sure.
That was there wasn't like an excuse or anything. It was literally a snowstorm in April. So, I mean, you never know. You just got to be on your toes, and I got my gear in the bag just in case I got to wrestle. So
yeah. So Zeke, is the last time you wrestled when you beat up the turkey at Thanksgiving in Polo?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I believe that was.
What an asshole you are! How do you beat up a fucking turkey for Thanksgiving, brother?
He was.
Was he getting a little mouthy?
He was talking a lot of jive.
I bet he was.
He was, you know.
I bet he was.
They do that.
It is Thanksgiving. That turkey needs to get cooked anyway. So.
Exactly.
Zeke, man, let me talk to you, man, about one of your other hobbies, man, before I give you the Primo. So you do some stand-up comedy.
You're
actually going to be in Mason City, Illinois this Friday night.
That's right. That's right.
You're kind of booked a little bit all over Illinois here. So how did all that come about, man? Did you do that before wrestling, or did that
kind of sort of? So I was on the radio for about, I don't know, it was about 12 years or so. And then it kind of just led to the open mic scene a little bit, you know, and I'd go up to Rockford and try my hand. I did a few open mics, I would say, in 2012. Wasn't really happy with how I was doing it. I knew I could do better. So I never really did it again until about 2016. And then when I started doing the open mics there, it was kind of like almost was like the wrestling. They just started booking me. And so it made me think that, hey, maybe I can do this. So I've really been kind of at it since then. I took 2019 off. I don't know why. It just happened that way. And then about the middle of the pandemic, I said, maybe this is probably a time to get back. There's a lot of funny stuff going on. So I got back at it, and we kind of run almost every other week that we don't do Zowa with my comedy thing, which is called Spilt Milk Comedy. Cheap plug there. No. Facebook.com/milk comedy. But I know about 40 comedians from around the area, just from Rockford or Peoria, St. Louis, Quad Cities, and the Chicago area. Some good ones in Milwaukee. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but so about 40 or 50 rotating comedians there, kind of just like the wrestling thing, just kind of show by show, city by city.
Nice. That's cool, man. I'm actually going to go check you out Friday night in Mason.
Awesome.
Man. I'm looking forward to it, seeing you in that different role. But you're familiar with the microphone, man. Not only are you a stand-up comedian, you're also in a band, man. I see some clips of you playing some old, playing some covers. A lot of the Zowa cards have been named Pink Floyd songs.
Right. Hey,
correct.
I was glad that you picked up on that. Only another one of the wrestlers picked up, and then one other fan was like, "Hey, man, I noticed on." I was like, "All right, cool." Because each flyer was like the color of the rainbow from Dark Side of the Moon. So if you look back at the first flyer this season, red. So like Roy G. Biv, you remember that?
Oh yeah,
the rainbow,
orange, yellow, green, blue.
So each flyer kind of had that Pink Floyd color and title from Dark Side of the Moon. But that's correct. And I'm in a band, been doing that for very, very long time, about 15, 20 years. Not quite as successful in that aspect, but I always have fun.
What's your best big break, you would say? You guys open up for anybody decent?
We opened up. I'd had 2 shows that would consider it big shows. We opened up for Les Claypool when he was it was the Purple Onion, and that was fucking cool. That was really fucking cool.
Nice.
We opened up for Clutch up in Milwaukee. Both shows were up in Milwaukee. So Clutch, they were pretty cool. I only got to meet them briefly. Pretty cool, eating some nachos with Clutch.
Nice.
Those were probably our 2 biggest shows. Yep.
Well, talk to me, man. You just went and seen Tool, man. Let me know.
Man.
How fucking good was it, dude?
Oh man, so I've seen Tool probably 4 or 5 times before that, but the last time was 2008, I want to say. And this is we're almost a week later, and I want to say that was the best one I've seen yet. I mean, I was blown away. I mean, the visuals they have now and the stage show they have now, but the thing about it is like Danny Carey is 60 years old.
Right.
That's my dad's age. I couldn't imagine my dad going out there and busting out a 4-minute drum solo. But they were unbelievable. Their set list right now is so good. They can go from hard rocking, because that's, when I was young, that's what I wanted out of Tool, was hard rock. And now I'm just like kind of dig this slower stuff, and they can go back and forth so good. If you get a chance to see him, definitely do it. Maynard, his voice is still as good, and highly recommend.
Hell yeah, man. Awesome. Love it. One last question, man. Getting back to promoter side, do you have any aspirations? Now, you guys, we're going to talk about this later. You guys are heading down to Mania this year.
Yep.
But do you have any aspirations of taking Zowa maybe across, where, you guys are located in Northwest Illinois? You thought about maybe taking across the border to Wisconsin maybe, or are you kind of snug right where you are?
Yeah, we're kind of snug where we are. I respect all those guys that are running in, Wisconsin and Eastern Iowa. They got their own good thing going on.
Sure.
And I had a thing going in Iowa City, and the other promotion, they were kind of already in that area already. So, I mean, kind of, that's their territory. So let them have it. And if I go into like a Chicago suburb or something, I don't really consider that being competition necessarily. There's a lot going on in Chicago. So I think that's kind of open market. I don't ever want to go there 100%. I have a few venues in Skokie that we go to. We go to one every year in Skokie, which is a suburb of Chicago, and we'll probably stay there and maybe increase a show or two there per year. But other than that, I'm pretty content where we're at. Stumpy and Mr. Havens have a promotion called Homegrown Wrestling,
right?
And they're they always use our ring, a lot of the same roster. So it's very similar to Zowa. So they kind of handle that little territory up there.
Yeah, they run a little closer to Iowa, don't they?
Right. Well, it's a little closer to Wisconsin, I would say.
Wisconsin, okay, gotcha.
Dubuque, Iowa is actually literally right between. So it'd be like Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois, all three, right? And that's kind of where they're at, is around the Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois border. So yeah.
Nice. Okay, gotcha. All right, Primo. Got some questions out of the ring here for Zeke, my man.
All right.
I sure do, but at first I do have a few questions that I came up with during this talk inside the ring. First of all, what's the story behind the Zowa Nintendo style logo?
Yeah, I love Nintendo. I don't even know. You guys can probably see this little background here, or I'll raise it up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
All my video games.
Yep.
And I've always loved video games, and that's such a recognizable graphic.
It's iconic.
I figured, why not pay homage, rip off, you know what I mean? So our best, and I love wrestling shirts. The late Marcus Crane was the best at this. I love wrestling shirts that you don't know it's a wrestling shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm wearing that Zowa shirt, people kind of come up and like, oh, okay. And then I have to tell them about it. It's almost kind of a production or
creates a conversation. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, exactly. But I love the shirts that you don't know are wrestling shirts, but back to that, our best selling shirts are always shirts of images that people are kind of recognize. So I kind of have gone down that road, and I'm hoping to get a cease and desist letter at some point.
That'd be cool.
It's my ultimate goal. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I remember Dreamwave promoter. I picked his brain for years. Because Dreamwave, you could do a whole podcast on that too. That guy knew everything about promoting. He was the best promoter ever, and I would pick his brain about that and the recognizable images, basically. Yeah.
That's awesome. So if someone wanted to start a wrestling promotion, say next month, what are 3 things that they need to have in line before then?
A ring.
Yeah.
The ring is the star of the show. I think Havens told you about the show that he had that the ring didn't show up. So
hey, brother, I forgot. I forgot to order the ring.
I forgot. Dang, what the heck, man?
Yeah, there you go.
I missed the I can't think of his name off the top. Big Daddy. Yeah, Big Daddy. I was about a year after Big Daddy stopped running, apparently, and I'm glad. I wish I would have been able to do those shows, but yeah, the ring, you got to have a ring. That's number 1. Number 2, have a effective and affordable roster. And what I mean by that is effective guys that know what they're doing inside the ring, that aren't going to hurt anybody and aren't going to make anybody in the crowd go, "Oh my God, what did I just, what did I just come to?" You know what I mean? Because there's a certain amount of I don't want to say embarrassment, but if wrestling product is not good and you go, what am I doing here? You're not going to go back to that product ever again.
For sure.
So you got to have
I've done that. For
yeah,
sure.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
$5 wrestling. I mean, but in real life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so an effective and affordable roster, if you're just booking guys that are well known and you're flying them in and you've never really ran before and this is what you're doing, you better have some sort of financial backing, because you got to be able to pay the guys. And,
right, for sure.
You know, so, and number 3, I would say, sponsorships always are great, because that takes away from how many tickets you need to sell. You always want to sell as many tickets as you want, but sponsorships, and then you get some of your roster can be cut out of that. As far as 3 sponsorships go, I'm talking promotion there too. You're going to be putting that sponsorship money towards your Facebook ads, towards your flyers, towards your gas, towards there. And there's so many other things in promoting that people don't realize. You know, I crashed my ring truck going down to a show. Actually, Dirty Bird was going to go see me down at Bloomington.
Down Bloomington, man. Yeah.
Yep. And I crashed my ring truck. Well, shit, what do I do now? I need something to haul the ring with. You know what I mean?
Right.
Call through my friends and call.
So you definitely need contingencies for sure.
You have to have people that you can rely on for a lot of different things beyond just wrestling in the ring.
Backup plan for a backup plan.
Yep,
right.
Exactly.
We talked about, you know, comedy, obviously, you know, me being promoter for Zowa, you know, the band. How time consuming is it for you to be to keep a monthly promotion consistently going?
Well, you want to put you want to put out content every day almost. Honestly, this is the world we live in right now, but there's also a fine line of not bugging your friends with it too, you know what I mean?
Right.
So as far as my day was today, I consider being in shape part of that too. I don't know why. I mean, I respect the wrestlers by trying to be in shape myself. So training and working out, I consider that part of the process as well. If I'm training my wrestlers and telling them they need to look their best, if I look like a fat ass slob, then that's not really fair to them or fair to myself. So today,
that's what I always say. Like, that's a doctor's approach. Like, I want my doctor to look healthy,
right? Exactly,
in great shape. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want him to be the model of what, you know. And then I want to listen to him more. So I understand where you're coming from. It makes a lot of sense, and it's a respect thing too, man.
Right. I could show you a picture. I'll post it. The day I started wrestling was March 16th, 3/16, actually, 2013. And
9 years
my
ago.
body there compared to now, and I'm not good at all right now, but it is a respect. It's a respect to the other wrestlers, and it's a respect to yourself for being in the business. But anyways, training, went and picked up flyers today, put up flyers today. So on certain days, it can take upwards of, 5-6 hours if you're going around putting up flyers and you're considering that part of the job. Yeah, I would say editing video. When I have Gage and Kyle do their live broadcasts, it's a little easier. Sometimes Gage and I have had to do overdubs. So editing video, that takes upwards of 4 hours for my shows usually. And they're still not perfect. I do all the editing myself. I line up.
So everything you can do yourself.
I feel you. I feel you on all the editing.
Because from radio, I learned how to look at audio, basically. You know what I mean? So I will line up the camera and have the bell ring on one camera and the bell ring on the other. The wavelengths kind of usually will line up right. So that's how I edit the 2 camera edits. And people don't realize that editing video is not as easy as it sounds or seems.
Right.
I thought editing audio was tough when I did radio for all those years, but editing video is probably what takes up the most of my time, I would say, as a promoter, to be honest.
All right. So now that I asked you those questions, let's get to these outside of the ring questions.
Sorry, I can go all day.
No, you're good. Actually, I'm
here all week, folks.
I want to ask more about that stuff, but I won't keep you all night.
No, that's fine.
So first we got to get this out of the way for the pod.
Yep.
Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris?
Oh, Bruce Lee, be water, my friend.
Yeah, we're coming back, baby.
Yeah.
All right.
Motherfuckers have arrived.
I actually did the whole be water speech to my wrestlers before the show a couple of weeks ago. So
That's
I
awesome.
respect Chuck Norris though. I actually UFC Fight Pass, they show old school martial arts movies all the time, and they just had a Chuck Norris one on the other day, and I watched it. It was cheesy and wonderful.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Okay. Pancakes or waffles?
I'm gonna go pancakes. Waffles, I have to be kind of in the mood for.
Right.
And it's like and pancakes, I only like one pancake. One pancake.
So it's one pancake.
It's like the dessert of my breakfast.
For sure. I can agree with that.
It's like I finish up my eggs or whatever, or toast and sausage, and then I get my one pancake.
All right, Zeke, if someone were to approach you today about writing a biography about your life, about everything you do, what would the title be?
Oh boy, let's go short stories. No, zip your lip, because that was always my phrase. So I would just kind of pay homage back to that. Zip your lip.
Nice, like it. I like it. Here's go ahead, Dirty.
I always like to kind of throw them out there. I was going to say like jokes, blunts, and bumps.
Right? Yeah, right. Blunts, bumps, and bruises, and beers, and bitches, and burgers, and brats, bro.
Talking about paying homage. Here's a old called a vintage question from our old me and Dirty's old 20 Minutes podcast we had back in the day. How many licks does it take to get to this in a Tootsie Pop?
1, 2, 3.
Oh, yep. Does he bite before the 3?
He takes the third lick and then bites.
He takes the third lick. Yeah. He takes the third lick and bite. Yeah.
Old school commercial.
Oh yeah.
All right. When you first get up in the morning, what is the very first thing you drink? You drink water, coffee, energy drink?
Usually water, or I'm always drinking Crystal Light lemonade for whatever reason. I don't know why, but usually
you have to.
It's going to shut down my liver and probably shut down my kidneys, but boy, does my slightly fat guts appreciate it.
Yeah. Now it just makes me have to take a leak every 5 seconds.
Yeah. I love orange juice though. Sorry. I don't generally have it at my house, but I love orange juice.
I do too. Pulp or no pulp?
Pulp.
Oh,
pulp.
My man.
Yeah, I like
That's
it
the way
too.
to go.
Give me the floaters.
I want a meal when I'm drinking orange juice, man.
Yeah. I like to feel them hit my lips.
Chew on it a little bit. Yeah.
Exactly. Skip breakfast.
Sorry. Yeah. No. So when you were 10 years old, what was like when I want to grow up? This is when I grow up. This is what I want to be. What was that for you?
I really wanted to be a baseball player. Baseball was my huge thing back then. Obviously every kid has that stupid unrealistic dream of being a pro athlete. Baseball was my thing. And I wanted to do wrestling. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Here.
That's awesome that you.
But I don't think I ever like knew any definition of what I wanted to do in wrestling specifically. But I was like, that'd be kind of cool to be involved in that.
Be involved, yeah. What do you have any favorite weird food combinations?
Oh, sauerkraut on pizza is kind of like, it's a very weird thing. It's a weird texture thing, but yeah,
like not a Reuben pizza, like
no, just like sauerkraut on a regular pizza with like Canadian bacon or pepperoni. Yeah, like, and it's not pretty, but it's delicious. We'll leave it at that.
We'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I'm not much of a sauerkraut guy in general.
Yeah.
If
I get high enough, I might try it.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's like one I can endorse. You know what I mean? It's like if anybody's out there listening, go,
like you're right.
Sounds
That
horrible,
is
but
good, yeah.
But Zeke said it was good. No, I won't even put my stamp of approval
Dollar
on
sauerkraut slices next
Right,
show.
yeah.
Next
Oh,
hour
boy.
show.
There we go.
Do you have any pet peeves that'll just like set you off, like slurping a straw or chewing loudly or talking through speakerphone?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you talk to some of my wrestlers. Yeah, there's probably a few that'll set me off. A pet peeve specific to booking and wrestling is if like a wrestler will message me, "Where should I park?" I'm like, bro, have you ever went to an event ever like that? I am not in charge of that aspect of it. You know what I mean? So like,
so stupid questions.
Yeah, not even stupid questions, just like questions that like aren't specific to me. Like, why
I'll just assume you always park in the back if you're
right.
talent.
Yeah. Or
Right?
just,
are you wearing
wherever there's not like a no parking sign specific to your vehicle and situation.
Are you wearing a valet jacket when they text you this?
Right, exactly.
We talked about Nintendo earlier. What is the earliest gaming system you played?
Nintendo, just Nintendo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, that's my outside the box. I do have a couple questions I want to get back to though, real quick.
Okay.
How difficult or easy is it to constantly come up with either fresh ideas or effectively recycle old ideas and make them current?
Yeah, so it is tough, and I lean on the talent a lot for that because some of the older guys that have been around the block, they kind of have a fresh take on something that maybe I can't see, but they can see specific to their character. Peacock Network, I mean WWE Network, I wish it was back to that old
me
school.
too.
I was just telling somebody last night I was searching for something, and back on WWE Network that would have popped up in an instant, but now on Peacock it has no idea what that WWE is even on there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Right.
So
No.
I watch a lot of old wrestling from kind of when Vince was taken over, early 80s all the way to about 94. And I love everything past, and I love current stuff too. But that's kind of where I get a lot of my ideas for stuff that people make. Oh, they never watched that, or
right.
It's been 10 years or 20 years since that popped up.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Even the major promotions, they do the same
Right.
things. I mean, yeah,
exactly. And then I lean on a lot of the talent for ideas specific to where they want to go with their feuds and who they would like to wrestle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like to keep our stories or our shows pretty storyline driven, as I'm sure you guys have noticed.
Yeah. I mean, you tell them where you want to go, and then you kind of let them the creativity flow, right?
They'll give me some feedback. Sometimes I gotta kind of reel
Say
them
yay
in a
or
little
nay.
bit, but But sometimes they got some unbelievable ideas that don't even seem like it would work, but they do work for years and months on end.
Sure.
Has any of wrestlers ever given you something and you just been like, what? Like,
yeah. Yeah. There's been quite a few.
Yeah, I think I've heard him say that.
Yeah. We had a guy that he had an idea that he was going to lose this ladder match, and then basically to redeem himself was going to win every major match for the rest of the year. I was like,
after losing one.
One, and the end of match that he didn't even get pinned in. It was a ladder match.
The redemption tour.
So that's
All
the
right.
redemption tour. Yeah, exactly. That's what we always called it, the redemption tour.
Wow. All right, last one here, and I'll pass you back to Dirty.
Wrestling.
What is, you don't have to answer this, honestly.
Okay.
But what is one thing that you must do as an owner and promoter that you would love to delegate to someone in a heartbeat because it's like monotonous or, or a pain in the ass?
I guess I kind of hit on that earlier. I love editing stuff, but if I could get editing out faster, more at a better pace, a little bit higher production, that's probably what I would do, because I don't want to say I bare bones it on our stuff, but it's hard to do the top-notch stuff when I don't have the the top-notch equipment and stuff like
Right.
that. That's something I would love to delegate to somebody else. Probably would be our video production, kind of get that a little bit more
Gotcha.
top-notch. We got a guy that drives our ring for us and pretty much sets up or drives our ring truck, and sets up our ring. So a lot of good things have been delegated. Gage is great with the audio. Our refs are great with setting up the ring and all the other stuff. So
yeah,
I got a lot of good delegation going on, and I'm really fortunate for that. But yeah, I would say video editing probably, and that's
Cool.
a little bit too much to put on to one guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
for sure,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna go get a beer real quick. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so we'll talk about these last two shows.
Yeah, we're right at about an hour.
Oh,
Yeah.
yikes.
We started about an hour ago. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll cut all this out, by the way.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Zeke. We got two shows to talk about here, man. First off, you guys are headed down to Arlington, Texas for WrestleMania weekend, April 1st, Guava Mania 2. It's going to be available on live stream. You know,
Yes, sir.
I think you said the main event is going to be Bucky Collins versus Gary J. Both former guests on the show. You know, and a big card there going on, man. Talk about that here real quick.
Oh yeah. So Guava Mania is kind of just a treat for us. Almost. I don't look at it as like a business like I do the other shows necessarily. It's we all go down to the WrestleMania. There's so many other independent promotions down there. Great independent promotions. Great amount of wrestlers down there. So yeah, it's something that I'm going to try to do every year. I don't know if I'm going to make it happen every year. You know what I mean? It's just where it is and how much I can afford to do something like that. It's not that it's a major expense or anything like that, but getting a ring in a different location, I mean, that's not always the easiest thing. So yeah, we're going to be doing a show in Arlington, Texas on April 1st. I actually set this up the day after our last show, which was our last Guava Mania, which was in Tampa in April last year of WrestleMania. Can't remember the specific date, but yeah, called around, got the ring situated. I wanted to do a fundraiser this year because I think that it's going to be more of a natural crowd if we have a fundraiser, right? You know?
Sure.
So if we don't have to necessarily depend on just the independent wrestling fans, they're going to have a lot of choices down there in Dallas to go to anyways.
Yeah.
Especially we're playing kind of in a primetime spot Friday at 6. So there's a lot of choices for those wrestling fans to go to. So I figured if we had some sort of fundraiser, it would be a good idea because then those kids can sell their tickets to their grandparents and their families and wherever. So maybe we'll have a better natural crowd if we have a fundraiser for this baseball facility. And they've been gracious enough to give us their venue for the night, and looking forward to that a lot.
Yeah, man, we are too, man. So that show is April 1st, Guava Mania 2. Follow all of Zowa Live to get the times, and I think you can buy the link. I believe it's going to be for $5, correct?
Yeah.
Zeke, I believe. For
Yes.
that one, yeah.
So yeah, we did that last year. It was a good time. I can go through the card if you want. If not,
go ahead.
Yeah. So we got Mr. Havens, which is Illinois', everyone's favorite, and then Jamie Holly, who is a strong man from Texas. He's a very
nice mustache on him too.
Oh, great job. He's running a show the next night that we're all going to be on as well, called This Is Manly. So
Nice.
I'm looking forward to that as well. Really good dude. That guy's helped me out a lot as far as getting things situated down in Dallas, Fort Worth area. So shout out to that guy, Jamie Holly. Really nice guy. Gary J and Bucky, as we mentioned earlier. Manny Domingo versus Hartenbauer for the Zowa Live Championship. And Hartenbauer wasn't at our last show, so this is the first time it'll be defended for about a month or so. So that'll be a good one.
Nice.
Blair Onyx versus Devlin Macabre. The winner of that will get kind of an instant shot whenever they want, kind of like a Money in the Bank type situation, right? So whoever wins that will get a ladies championship shot whenever they'd like.
Nice, yeah, big women's match there.
Oh yeah, great, 2 talented ladies there. Fly Def, which is 2 guys trained by Booker T down at Reality of Wrestling. They'll be taking on Country Air. and that'll be for the Zowa Live Tag Team Championship. That's going to be a phenomenal match. That's
definitely
don't miss that one.
Go
You
watch
do not want to
Country
miss
Air
that.
for sure.
Yeah,
man.
and Fly Def is in this kind of in that same vein, so it's going to be a high flying, great show, great match there. Damian Deschain, Dakota Jacobs, Bailey, Bright, Matt Hatter will all kind of be representing Zowa in the Texas Toast Gauntlet, which is kind of a combination. I really just kind of came up with this. I don't know. I'm probably not the first to come up with this, but it's kind of like a rumble. There's going to be two guys that start every minute. There'll be another guy that comes in. But the difference between this and a regular rumble is that pinfalls, submissions, and over-the-top eliminations all count. So it could get kind of wild. It's going to get kind of crazy in there. So that's going to be good. We got a lot of guys that'll be in that. That'll probably be about a 10 or 12 man match there.
Awesome.
Missa Kate versus Raven Radix. That'll be for the ladies championship.
Yep, Missa Kate, the current Zowa Live Women's champ, correct?
Yep, yes indeed, and she'll be defending it that night against Wisconsin's Raven Radix, and Raven Radix is a up and comer from Wisconsin, very talented lady. Dmitry Alexandrov versus Damon McCullough, and that rounds out the card there. Those two Texas guys, Dmitry Alexandrov. Definitely check him out. He's kind of in that Gary J vein where he's just violent and crazy, and you never know what's going to happen with that guy. Real good friends with Gary J too. That's kind of who introduced me to him. So
nice, very cool. All right, yeah, man, it's going to be a big card down there. So looking forward to that one, man. All right, to close the show, Zeke, we got to talk about it, man. Big 5-year anniversary show coming up. It's appropriately named after a Pink Floyd song, of course. It's called Us and Them. It's going to be in Dixon, Illinois, Saturday, April 23rd. It's going to be the biggest Zowa Live show ever. This, according to Zowa Live social media.
Yes, indeed.
The
jerk that runs that.
Yes, right. The jerk that runs that, man. So he's letting the cat out of the bag, man. So it's going to be a big card. This one's sponsored by the Sit Down Marks, of course. I can't wait to go to this one, man. This Bucky Connor cage match is unbelievable. I can't wait to see how this one all shakes out. From what I'm hearing, you might have said it's the first cage match in how long? How many years?
I believe since 1974. So that's probably not quite 50, but it's 50 sounds better on a poster, right? So
yeah.
So
nobody's gonna do the math.
48. No, those liars. If we got
Yeah.
somebody that's that dedicated to do that math, I'm excited. I always wanted to do a steel cage. I'm actually having 2 cages built for me at the moment. One specific to this show. And then we have one that's going to be built. That's going to be kind of like the big blue cage.
Nice.
So dope.
I'm really looking forward to that. That's probably going to premiere sometime in like August or something. But this is going to be a different cage. But looking forward to that. We haven't had a steel cage match ever in our area since I've been wrestling. So really looking forward to that. Connor and Bucky are my opinion, the top of the food chain right now at Zowa Live. Both of those guys.
Biggest rivalry in Zowa right now. It has to be.
Those guys have been at each other's throats for a long time. Bucky kind of played possum and was his friend there for about 6 months. And then it was revealed that Bucky was probably not his friend all that time. And so they got a great rivalry there. Dates back all the way. We have, you can check this out on Indie Wrestling IWTV as well. It's called Zowa Live, The Wrestling Match, the Movie. So if you've never seen that, go check it out. It's our cinematic movie, and that featured Connor Hopkins and Bucky Collins. That's kind of where their feud all started, actually, way back in the pandemic, 2020. So their feud all the way back. Anything else around the card you want to ask? I'm willing to give the details.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you have already released a few matches, man. So run down the matches here real quick for this 5-year anniversary that you've announced so far.
Sounds good. We'll go through the ones that kind of can be announced at this point. Sure. So we'll have, like we said, Connor Hopkins and Bucky. That's going to be a steel cage affair. Yeah. Matt Cage versus Christian Rose, which is a just an unbelievable match. I've seen this match a few times in the past. These guys have been tag team partners. They've been friends, but good friends, better enemies, brother.
This will be good, man.
Yeah, so that's gonna be. I've seen these guys go at it time and time again. Always a great match. That was announced on Saturday night. They kind of told each other they wanted one more match against each other. They're both kind of. You never know how long. They might be here for another 10 years. They might here for another 10 minutes. So they kind of want to make sure that it happens. And so that's going to happen April 23rd. Matt Cage, Christian Rose. Also announced on Saturday night after the tag match, which Damien's team won. Damien Deschain will be taking on Bailey in a Falls Count Anywhere match. So excited for that one as well.
Yep. Bailey with Shane, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so the Shane show.
The Shane show.
Yes, and they've acquired Ty Montgomery now. He made his decision to join the bank.
They have.
So, unfortunately,
I'm a fan of the Shane show.
Yeah, the Shane shows. He's a good time wearing that old jacket from Caddyshack that you get a free bowl of soup with, right?
Yes, it is.
And
proudly wearing it too.
Exactly. We got Hatter versus Stumpy. That's gonna be no disqualification. So
yeah.
A lot of stipulations going on this show. That was announced on Saturday night as well. Hatter versus Stumpy for no disqualification.
Yeah, rivalry blow-offs here. This is a big show, man.
Yeah, it is. And we generally don't have more than 8 matches. We have 9 on this show. I figure I kind of want to give some spotlights to some guys. Dakota will be taking on Moondog Bernard. That's going to be something. And then after Ty defeated Damien Deschain with the help of the Shane show and those dastardly The Bank members, Bailey, that's going to be for the Fireweight Championship, and that's going to be against Anakin Murphy, who won that in early March. So that's going to be a great match between two up-and-comer wrestlers.
Yeah.
So,
then Anakin won that in Sterling when we were there last time.
Yeah, that was a great match.
It was
held his own against Bucky Collins. I was real proud of him. Judd and Havens versus Chief Beef and Jiggy Jack Spade. Those are the other matches I can announce at this time.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Looking forward to it, man. Yeah, and then looking forward to seeing, I'm assuming Hartenbauer is probably going to defend the title that night.
Yes, Hartenbauer will be in action that night.
So we'll see who he'll be.
Country Air will be in action that night as well. Whether
it's a
they'll
big
have
show, man.
Either of those guys will have the title at that point or not. We'll see after Guava Mania, but they'll be in action regardless. So
make plans to be there. April 23rd, the 5-year anniversary of Zowa Live. We're going to be there. It's going to be a big time that night. Make sure you guys all show up and be there. I'm sure Zeke's going to put on a hell of a card here for us that night. So Zeke, man, appreciate your time today, brother. Thank you for stopping in and hanging out with us here, man. This time, man, it blew by, dude.
Oh yeah, no, when I went and got that beer, I looked at the clock. I was like, "Oh man, we've been talking a minute," but that's how it goes when you got a good conversation. So.
Yeah, but plug where you're going to be Friday, man. You know all the details.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to plug. I'm going to go ahead and plug the next 2 weeks, if that's okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. So Friday I'll be in Mason City telling yuck 'em ups at Mason City Limits in Mason City, Illinois, and we got a great card. I'm just a performer on that one. I'm not running that show. The next night I'm running a show up in Polo, Illinois. And that's a really good show as well. So those are both comedy shows, the 25th and 26th of March. Check them out. Comedy in Mason City, Illinois and Polo, Illinois. And then next week, we're going to be going to Dallas for WrestleMania and all that fun stuff. On Thursday, March 31st, we're actually going to run a comedy show. Bucky Collins is going to be doing comedy for the first time ever, which is hilarious to me. I'm looking forward to that very much.
That will be good.
We got a couple wrestlers that are going to be doing comedy and a ring announcer that's going to be doing comedy. That is in Louisville, Texas. At a I can't think of the place right now, but we'll get the details out there. And then Friday, of course, is Guava Mania. That's at Cover All Bases in Arlington, Texas. And then on Saturday, we are in Fort Worth for This Is Manly, and that's at Tulips. So, yeah, there's a lot going on for me in the next 2 weeks. I'm very excited. I'm very pumped up.
Yeah, man. Keep that carb between the mustard and the mayonnaise, okay? On your
Right.
way to any of that shit, okay?
Yeah, I know. That was a long story, and I should never drive a rear-wheel drive truck in ice. That's the moral of that long story.
Well, Zeke, thank you, brother. Appreciate you taking the time out. Zeke, the promoter and owner of Zowa Live Wrestling, brother. Thank you for joining us today, man. It's a pleasure getting to know you and meet you, man. Looking forward to doing a lot more with you here, brother. But thank you for being with us today, man. Have a fun and shoot, man. I'll see you Friday.
All right, sounds good, man. See you then, and take care. And I just want to thank Sit Down Marks podcast so much for sponsoring Zowa, getting involved. I know the guys love coming on here. It's a great time for them, and we kind of get to go places where we don't get to go as far as conversation goes. So we really appreciate it, and thank you guys very much.
Absolutely. Thanks again for coming.
Yep. Thank you guys.
All right. That was our interview with Zeke Zshe, man. Yeah, time got away from us, man. Had a lot of good stories. I enjoyed talking to him, man. I've gotten to know him over, me and AJ have gotten to know him over the past, few shows, and it was cool to finally get him on the show.
I'm super looking forward to listening to it. I was pissed that I missed you guys when you got to do the interview. Plus, can we just talk about how Zeke Zshe is like the coolest name? Like,
I know, right?
Yeah, we're like cool. Zeke Zshe.
It is cool. And, it was cool to finally find out what Zowa meant. So that was cool, too.
Zowa.
So very informative. So, all right. We've been waiting for this one. It's, it's time to play some squared circle questions, but it's time to debut our brand new cheesy game show music. Hit it, Primo. Oh, yeah. If that don't get you ready for squared circle questions, nothing will. Undead Michael is here, so that means one thing. It's time to bring back squared circle questions. As usual, I'm reading the questions. It's AJ versus Primo versus Michael. All right, boys. Today's possible points is 5. Okay. I got 1 wrestler for you, 1 pay-per-view, and 3 3 potpourri questions. As usual, you'll be doing some of these verbal, and you'll be doing some of these writing them down. So this first one for wrestler is going to be verbal. So first person to yell out the correct answer will win the point here. So doing this verbally, if you call out a wrestler and it is incorrect, you got to wait 2 clues before you can jump back in. So if you guess incorrectly, you got to wait 2 clues before guessing once again. If you guys are ready, I am ready.
I'm never ready for these.
Ready?
I always lose, but I'm ready. I'm ready to lose, Dirty.
All right. I think this is kind of a softball. I think y'all gonna be able to get this one. So all right. So this one's verbal. Whoever says it first answers right. If you answer incorrectly, you got to wait 2 clues to come back. Here we go. Born June 30th, 1944. He was born in Hammond, Indiana. He is 6'1", 247 pounds. He was trained by Dory Funk. He debuted in 1965. His last match to date, I believe, was 2017.
Terry Funk.
Ding, 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 ding. Terry Funk is the answer. I gave it away a little bit there. But to finish up, he has wrestled in every promotion. He's headlined ECW's November to Remember 3 times. He is in the WWE, NWA, WCW, and Hardcore Hall of Fame. His nicknames are Texas and Hardcore Legend. And he was also known once as Chainsaw Charlie.
So how
about AJ getting out of the box here?
That one was worth 3 points, right?
This one, no, is worth 1 point.
1944.
Yeah, I made you guys go way back here.
Last match was 5 years ago.
Yes.
Fucking Jesus.
Jesus.
All right, moving on, boys. Let's go to pay-per-view. Now, this particular pay-per-view is called Slamboree. You got to tell me what year this one was held, okay?
It's a WCW pay-per-view.
It's a WCW pay-per-view, yeah. So remember, incorrect answers, you got to wait 2 clues. Here we go.
Are we writing it down or shouting?
You shouting it out, yeah.
97.
Don't you make me wanna.
St. Louis, Missouri, 20,000 people, 20,516 people were there. Let's talk about this card. Raven and Saturn won the WCW tag titles from Kidman and Malenko.
97.
Incorrect. You got to wait 2 clues. Conan defeated Stevie Ray. Incorrect. You got to wait 2 clues.
What did you just say, Primo?
I said.
Don't worry about it.
He said 98.
I said 99.
You said 98.
Go ahead, AJ.
Does that count as a clue?
99.
Bam Bam defeated Brian Knobbs.
99.
Yeah, answer's 99. Y'all ruined it.
It had to be one of those. Like,
thanks for screwing up my game.
I know. In my defense, I was gonna guess 98 or 99.
All right, so 1999 is the answer. AJ goes up to rest of the card real quick. Rick Steiner won the WCW TV title from Booker T. Scott Steiner defeated Buff Bagwell to retain the U.S. title. Piper defeated Flair. Sting and Goldberg went to a no contest. And Kevin Nash defeated DDP for the WCW World Heavyweight title.
All right. So we're writing down the rest of them?
All right, writing down the last 3 potpourri questions here.
It's going down.
All right. AJ's up 2-0. Here we go. All right. What U.S. city was Kevin Nash born in?
Oh, fuck. I just saw this. Literally
write
this
it down.
morning.
Don't say it.
Fuck.
What U.S. city was Kevin Nash born in? You guys want to reveal when all the answers are up? I'll show. Waiting on Primo. Michael says...
Oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
I know. I'm waiting.
Ah, shit. Michael, I think you're right.
I'm not looking. I'm going to be way off here, but I'm just going to put this. Because I have no idea.
All right. Primo says Tampa Bay. Michael says Pensacola. AJ says Phoenix. All which are incorrect. The correct answer is Detroit, Michigan.
Ah, damn it. I knew that. Dang it.
So
nobody...
Which one of us geographically was the closest? I think they should get the points.
We're close.
I mean, me and Michael agreed on the state.
Yeah.
Did,
all right.
yes.
All right, guys. Back to years. Write down what year did Sting debut in the NWA?
Oh, fuck.
What year did he debut in the NWA? Reveal answers, please. Okay. Waiting on Primos. AJ says 1982. Michael says 1986. Primo says 1987. Correct answer is 1987. Primo gets the points.
Boo.
He wrote 86 and marked it out.
I did.
Yes, all right, here, guys. Closest wins here. Wins the point. Michael's playing for fun. AJ's going for the win. Primo's going for the tie. I have no tiebreaker tonight, so we're going with it here. All right, guys, here we go. How many straight victories did Goldberg have before losing to Kevin Nash after the infamous taser incident with Scott Hall? Michael says 128. Primo says 121. AJ says 129.
You prices right at him?
Yep.
You sure did. You guys were all way off, man. It was 173.
Oh, so closest wins.
What?
Yeah, 173.
I seriously thought it was in the 120s.
I thought it was too.
No, 173 before
I'm
the
pretty
taser
sure they
incident.
padded out that record.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, because every time Nitro would come on, there would be like 12 matches added. Like he went on a heck of a dart match run, you know what I mean, through the weekend. So, all right, boys, that was fun. AJ, congratulations. Finally
champ once
gets
again
in the W column.
The main champ of the Sit Down Marks podcast, I might add, since it's the only one worth mentioning today. So
it is. But whose game is it?
Primo's game, baby! 72 combined days as your Sit Down Marks reigning, defending, 2-time champion.
Hope that made you dizzy when you did
Right
that.
here where he belongs. Hello, AJ. Right here at Primo's house. Look at me.
All right. Michael is here to bring us the first ever Undead Rankings, as I have coined the phrase. So Michael is here. He's roughly going to give us some monthly rankings of wins and losses and that kind of stuff. So Michael, take it, buddy.
Well, thank you very much, Dirty. I have an interesting question for both Primo and yourself. Who do you think? You already know the answer. Shut up, AJ.
Yeah.
You had to check my math, remember?
Yeah, that's true.
Who do you think the top 3 wrestlers in WWE are? Excluding world champions.
Excluding world champions.
Yep.
I'm going to say Edge, AJ, and I know there's probably one that's Rollins.
All right, Primo.
Those are close to my guesses.
So I agree with Edge and, disregard. I agree with Rollins and AJ, but I'm going to choose Chad Gable.
Mathematically speaking, the strongest wrestler in the WWE main roster, since I've been tracking this on starting end of February, Omos.
Oh, God.
100% win ratio, beat 5 opponents in 4 matches. Omos is your strongest wrestler in WWE.
Currently rumored to face Bobby Lashley, by the way.
Oh, my God.
Second most powerful wrestler, Liv Morgan. 4 matches worked, 4 victories.
Man.
One 24/7 title.
Nice.
No. Number 3, your strongest champion, Dana Brooke.
Oh, yeah, Dana Brooke.
Dana Brooke has a 100% win ratio, has worked 3 matches, has won all 3 of them.
Interesting.
Oh, my God.
You know who is the number 4, Drew McIntyre, coming in with 3 matches worked, 3 victories. And then Finn Balor, number 4, as the U.S. champion. Your first real champion appears at the number 4 spot.
Interesting.
Are you saying that the 24/7 title isn't a real title?
I'm definitely saying.
What about Happy Corbin?
Happy Corbin, since I've been tracking it, has a 0% win ratio by losing in a 6-man tag.
Where's my boy Kevin Owens at?
KO, let's see, he is ranked number 10. He's got a 66% win ratio.
Yeah.
He's got 2 wins out of 3.
I like this.
But
He's like the
number
Oracle.
10.
Yeah,
I know. I love it too. Like, I'm digging this already.
Oh, it was all, like I was going. He sent me the whole thing. And I was like, wait, what? What? I was like looking at all his metrics.
What?
Yeah.
Guess who's not on the list?
Yeah.
Roman
Reigns.
Roman Reigns is not on the list. Has not worked a single match.
Yeah. Has he worked? Yeah.
Well, this is why he's we exclude world champions, except for Becky Lynch, who's actually buried at the very bottom with losing in the past week. She's ranked number 45.
That's dope. That's dope. That's cool to know too.
It's horrifying to know.
Here's to give you a little bit of idea how I'm doing this.
Almost.
Oh yeah, almost with your 125% win record. There you go.
Yeah, 5 wins out of 4 matches.
Out of 4 matches, because he just won a handicap against Aziz and Apollo Crews. He double stacked them.
Which by the way, what the fuck with Commander Aziz?
I like his throat poke.
But remember, he was built kind of like almost was supposed to be built at the beginning. Babatunde was supposed to be like a Goliath, a beast, and now he's
Now he's a jobber, a big jobber.
He's lost his last 2 matches. I've also started doing streaks, wins and loss streaks. Omos has a 4-win streak right now with the commanding lead over everyone else. Oddly enough, you know who's got an amazing win streak going right now?
Don't say the
Riddle.
Oh yeah.
He's got a 3-win streak going right now. And then Dana Brooke with a 3-win streak. Your most dominant of champions is Dana Brooke.
Hell yeah, she's not losing anytime soon. Takes on all comers.
All Taminas and Reggies and Akiras and
don't forget Tamina's.
Oh, I couldn't. Here's a funny story there for you though. I was listening to the pod last week, and Primo announced I was going to be doing this week, and I thought to myself, "Fuck, I don't have that ready. I was supposed to do it after Mania," and so, joke's on you. I have no life. So there you go.
There you go. That's the perks of having no life.
Yeah, exactly. So how this works is after Mania, I'm going to wipe the slate clean, just to give you guys like a taste of
like a new
how
season.
This works. Yeah, so I figure
season 2, as it were.
Yeah, because I figure Mania is like the biggest weekend in all of pro wrestling. So we're just gonna
historically, sure.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
year.
We're gonna wipe the slate after Mania, and everyone's gonna start at 0. This works essentially. However many opponents you defeat, to how many people on your team. So like tag teams, for example, even though you have 2 people on the other side, there's 2 of you, so it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Battle Royals work like this. However many people you eliminate is how many points you get.
But what if you eliminate 0 and win the Battle Royale? We're getting into way too many hypotheticals right now.
No, I've actually accounted for all these. Yeah. This is not my first time doing these statistics for this. But just to give you guys like a taste, and I'm going to be doing this for WWE, NXT, AEW, Impact. I'm not doing Control Your Narrative because fuck that whenever it comes out.
It's in the metaverse anyway. Nobody knows where.
Exactly. Also, my plug for AEW Dark. Marks out there, if you're not watching AEW Dark, these people really need your attention and support. Please, for the love of God, check out AEW Dark.
It's a pretty good show too.
It is. See, look, I like things. I like them.
Oh, whoa, hey.
Dirty. I like some things.
Whoa, let's not get crazy here. So, Michael, are you going? So, when you come on the pod, you're going to do these every time you come on the pod, like, just talk about like each one, like in particular, like or are you just going to pick like today was WWE?
Well, I'm going to have them all ready for you guys to go. So, if you want, after we're doing like the recaps of like WWE, AEW, all that, I can just throw out, yep, and here's your strongest person, or you can make a game out of it where I can have you guess beforehand, like
That's
we just
pretty
did.
fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Because no one suspects the almost.
Right. And like you said, after WrestleMania, everybody will have a clean slate.
Yep.
Yeah. I like it, man. I like it.
I'm glad you like it. I'll send you guys links to this document I'm using. It's just a straight up Google Doc with all the stats in it. Let me know if you want to see anything in it, out of it, whatever. Awesome. We'll make adjustments.
Yeah, Mike's coming back too right after WrestleMania, so we'll talk about it then too. So, all right, AJ, it's time to close the show, man.
Listen to us, buy our shirts, do some things, which, including this shirt right here, which right now are 40% off, correct? Is that before?
That's correct.
40%, yeah.
40% off. So go to tpublic.com/stores/sit-down-marks to get all your Marks merch, including, by the way, this t-shirt, because it's the best one in the history of shirts, and it's very comfy.
Yep, mine's pretty comfortable too. Yep.
But yours doesn't have the age-old debate that has torn both families and countries asunder.
That's true.
That's
true.
And then, watch us not on podcast, because that'd be weird, just watching a screen with nothing on it. Listen to us wherever you can get podcasts, including right before the Thomas Price Show at 6:15 on Friday on SportzWire Online Radio.
I watch you on YouTube.
And the YouTubes.
Yeah, the YouTube replays are available.
I like how you were promoting the shirt you have on, then acknowledge that you're on a podcast, so you can't watch you.
All right, let's get to these UFC weekend picks. AJ finally got to 500 last week. He went 41-41, so he is now picking the main event. Last week, he picked Alexander Volkov over Tom Aspinall. Was he correct, Primo? Volkov lost to Aspinall, so that will put AJ down to 41-42. All right,
I led the good life for a week. It was nice living in 500 land.
We're going to get back here this week. So this week's main event is Chris Dawkins versus Curtis Blades. All right, AJ, let's talk about Chris Dawkins first. He is 12-3.
Mm-hmm.
He is a USA fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He is 6'3", 235 pounds, and he is ranked number 8.
Okay. All
right, next up, we got Curtis Razor Blades is the nickname. He's 15-3. He's also a USA fighter, 6'4", 261 pounds, and he is ranked number 4th. Which one of these fellas you want to go with this week?
I'm got to be completely honest. I didn't listen to a single stat about them after anything you said apart from the name Blades. So we're going to go with Curtis Blades.
Going with Curtis Blades.
His name's Blades, for fuck's sake.
How could you not go with Blades?
Right, sounds good. All right, Primo, let's get to your MMA lock of the week. Coming into last week, you were 8-5. You took Tipura to win his fight. Did he win his fight? Yes, he did. Tipura won by decision, so that will put you at 9-6. Looking at that card, Primo, who you going with this week? Who you giving the gamblers a nod here this week?
So if you look at the odds, you got a 50-50 split on the welterweight matchup, Matt Brown versus Brian Barberena. Now, I got to go myself with the veteran Matt Brown. That's who I pick. Go ahead, take it. It's -110 odds. Make your money back. I wouldn't put too much on it, but it could go either way in this account. But I would say definitely Matt Brown.
All right, sounds good. We'll see what happens, and we'll come back next week and see how these boys do. All right, Primo, give us the preview of next week, sir.
Well, Marks, coming close. Let's talk about next week real quick before we get out of here. So, it's the final pod of the month and the final pod before Mania. So it's time for me to put the Kurt Angle trophy back up for grabs once again, but we all know how it's gonna go down. I will remain champion, but that's for another time. We will go over the WrestleMania and NXT cards for the WrestleMania weekend. We will then debate for our Dropkick discussion of the week, HBK versus Undertaker from WrestleMania 26 as one of the best ever. Plus next week the Marks draft current champions to boost our virtual promotions, which means the Pretty Good wrestling promotion will get a couple more champions for our roster. And our final interview of the month is Chicago-based independent wrestler
TBD. Perfect. I love it. TBD. He's tearing up the Midwest scene right now.
Up and comer, that TBD.
The young upstart.
TBD. No, we are working on one for next week, and we will get that out to you. Catch us here next week for all of your best wrestling and comedic entertainment.
All right, that's going to do it for this pod. Got some notes here. I wanted to let you guys know we just worked it out. Starting April 13th, which is the pod right after our WrestleMania coverage, we're going to be adding NWA to the coverage here. And so Primo's going to be covering NWA for you after WrestleMania. So he'll be talking about that later. So going to have that coming on the pod. You boys got anything here before we wrap it up and say goodbye?
A garden hoe?
Just want to say thanks again for having me on again, gentlemen, to annoy the hell out of you with my insipid, stupid questions and my pointing out your logical inconsistencies on AEW.
I rather enjoy your point of view and your questions. Thanks again for coming back to the show. Can't wait till we see you again.
Yeah, Michael, I mean, you know what I need, so I need you here to tell me what I like about wrestling. So
That's right.
If you could do me a favor and go order me a patty melt with no onions from Whataburger, I would greatly appreciate it.
Stop mentioning Whataburger.
Patty melt with no onions is a burger. Patty melt with no onions is
no, but Whataburger is patty melt sauce.
They don't get it, Primo.
They don't get it.
I've had Whataburger. It's like mustard sauce, isn't it? I mean, it's all right.
Back right now.
It's all right. It's all right.
I've been craving Whataburger for months.
We had fun having Michael back on the pod. Michael's actually going to be back in 2 weeks. He's actually going to be back in 2 weeks. He's going to be back with us to review WrestleMania and talk about the Undead Rankings once again and see how they change. See if Almost will have a loss before then. So had a good time here today, boys. Hope y'all did too. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. You guys got anything else before we go home here? All right. Rest in peace, Razor Ramon.
Only
AJ,
that, yeah.
take us.
Grab them kinks, Primo.
No, go ahead. Cut the man off on a obituary.